sports fans and enthusiasts from every corner of the globe. It's time to rise and grind because it's game time.
What time is it?
Game time! So grab your coffee, turn up the show begins right now.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Here's your host and maestro of sports knowledge himself, Dan Kasper. Let's go!
What up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Monday to all of you. Hopefully, all had a fantastic, safe weekend, beat the heats and such. We appreciate you making us part of your start for this brand new work week, whether you're listening to us on the radio dials at 105.1 FM, 790 AM, also online at sportstalk1051.com. Got the app, download it, take it on the go. Video streams also up and rolling. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Alexa devices, smart devices. You can check us out over there too. Multiple different ways for you to be tuning in this morning. What do we have on the good old dockets? Well, here's our game plan. The weather wasn't the only thing that was smoking hot this past weekend. The Brewers doing a little sweeping, taking down the Twins in all three games from the weekend. And now Brewers inching a little bit closer to the first place club. Cubs still 3.5 back from the Cubbies. But if the playoffs were to start today, which we know they don't, the Brewers now in that final wild card spot too. So moving on up is the Milwaukee Brewers. So, but a fantastic weekend for the Crew, especially when it comes to the offense for the Brewers. But then you go back to Friday night too. Jacob Mizorowski in his second career start. I mean, the kid just continues. I mean, couple of nuggets here surrounding Mizorowski. His 11 innings. So he went 11 straight innings when you factor in his first start to his second start. 11 innings of hitless, an 11-inning hitless streak. Longest by a starter. The longest by a starter to open a career in the modern era. That is according to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. I think they would know something a little bit about that, right? Also, Mizorowski is the only MLB pitcher since 1900. We're talking over 125 years ago to have more wins than hits allowed over his first two career starts. So Brewers offense, though, smoking hot over the weekend. 35 runs, 47 hits, and a team batting average of 402. So a lot of stuff. I mean, then you go to Saturday, Quintana. I mean, he was awesome too. Brewers shutting out the Twins Saturday. Yesterday's game getting a little close there to the end. Twins were chipping it away, and then McGill has to come in and shut it down. 1 1/3 of innings relief, but the Brewers escaping with a 9-8 victory yesterday. So, but biggest thing, Brewers taking 3 out of 3 against the Twins. And now they return home to where it's probably going to be a little cooler in their stadium, maybe turn the AC on and such. But now they return home for 3 games against Pittsburgh starting tonight, and then 3 games against Colorado to wrap up the month of June. A fantastic opportunity here for the Brewers to rack up some more wins and for the Crew to inch up a little bit more in those standings. So plenty of Brewers chat, plenty of baseball chats coming at you throughout this morning here. But how you feeling about your team right now, Brewers fans? And if you're a Twins fan, how you feeling about your Twins right now too? All right, start to hit me up with some texts on the Shoe Doctor's bullpen line at 715-830-1912 on the video streams, or hit me up on the socials right now. Again, Brewers 43-35, and now moving into that final wild card spot, but they're not far from the Giants either. They're a half game above the Padres, 1 full game up on the Cards, and 3 full games up on the Reds, 3.5 on the Diamondbacks. But again, fantastic opportunity here for the Brewers to rack up some more wins going up against the 2 worst teams record-wise in the National League at home. But Wednesday is going to be a fantastic. I mean, if you got nothing going on Wednesday, and maybe you could take the day off work and head on down to AmFam Field, Mizorowski versus Skeens. That I mean, we got a little bit of a bigger sample size when it comes to Paul Skeens, but early returns on Mizorowski. You're going to see some hard throwing pitchers on that day. So, but we'll talk plenty of Brewers coming up here in just a little bit as we get things rolling here this morning. Hoops wise, the NBA Finals are officially in the books. The Thunder taking Game 7 last night to secure the championship. Although a little bit earlier in the game, Tyrese Halliburton going down and an Achilles injury. I mean, you could see the slow-mo replay. It's the prototypical Achilles injury where you see the calf pop and such. And I mean, man, this is going to be a question I have for Dr. Crow the next time we catch up with him. But I mean, at what point, do these teams, because Halliburton has been dealing with a calf injury, right? And he was still playing on it, and it's the same calf that now he has the Achilles injury. So at what point do these teams, when you got a player, especially in basketball, who's dealing with a calf strain and a calf injury, are they just going to say, no, you're not going on it because maybe the risk isn't worth the potential reward afterward? I don't know. But, I mean, there's another example. Somebody dealing with a calf injury or a calf issue, and then it turns worse. KD was the same. So, no, but that's going to be a question for Dr. Crow whenever we catch up with him next and such. But definitely now you really look at the Eastern Conference, man. Think about it. You really look at the Eastern Conference now. Jason Tatum's got the Achilles injury. He's going to be out a long time. Now Tyrese, he's going to be out a very long time. Damian Lillard with the calf injury, with the Achilles injury too. I mean, the Eastern Conference now with this latest injury is like, whew, maybe a little bit more wide open at this point. Speaking of Durant and such, the first big blockbuster trade of the NBA offseason, he gets shipped off to the Houston Rockets. So KD, where he began his college career in Texas as a Longhorn, now going back to Texas as a member of the Houston Rockets. So what else do we got on the game plan for us this morning? It is Monday morning, so it's I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Fill in the blanks. I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. What do you got for me? All right. Best ones I'll read on the air. We'll play a little crystal ball coming up a little bit later on too. So if you got any good, I'm open for any good crystal ball questions. If anybody wants to send those on over too. So we'll definitely hit that up. And whatever else is on your mind on this Monday morning, whatever else you got, let me know. Okay. But we are going to lead things off this morning talking some Milwaukee Brewers. A Brewers team now, according to MLB.com, cracking the top 10 in the latest power rankings. Their little Rhys Hoskins homered in the second inning of the Brewers' 9-8 win over the Twins on Sunday. The Brewers' 4th win in a row. The homer did end a rather wild streak from Milwaukee. They had scored, get this, and this was something that my little guy, Hudson, kept saying over the weekend. They had scored 27 runs in the Twin Series up to that point without the benefit of a single homer. So think about that. The first 2 games, no homers. Since 1946, only 2 teams in MLB history had scored more than 26 runs over 2 games without hitting a home run. And the Brewers did that the first couple games of this series against the Twins. How are you feeling right now, Brewers fans? with the state of this team. As after the Brewers finish this series against the Pirates, we will be at that halfway mark, 81 games into the regular season for the Brewers. So we'll do halfway mark, grades, second quarter grades, all that sort of stuff a little bit later on this week. But, I mean, how do you not feel pretty pumped up about this team? I'm sure there's still going to be some apprehension surrounding the offense and such and the consistency of the offense. But at this point, you got to feel pretty good. Got to be pretty happy with what you saw over the weekend. Now there's probably going to be like, all right, let's see this on a consistent level. I don't think the team will consistently hit over 400 going forward. That would be awesome. But yeah, how do you not get pumped up after what we saw this weekend and continue to get pumped up from what we see from the youngster Jacob Mizorowski? So plenty of Brewers chat to get to. Let's jump right into it. Our first break and then the leadoff. We'll talk a little baseball, talk a little Brewers baseball this morning. Quick break and we'll get things going here this morning.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
If Culligan isn't treating your home's water, you likely have water problems all around you, like hard-to-clean chalky residue on your shower, faucets, and bath, stains around your sink drains, spots on your dishes and glassware, plus dull, dried-out hair and skin, and problems you don't see, like scaly buildup in the water heater and pipes. But have no fear, you're in the clear with Culligan Products and Service. For all your residential and commercial water filtration needs,
visit CulliganH2O.com for your local Culligan water dealer. This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-419-2387. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-419-2387. 800-419-2387. 800-419-2387.
Summer's officially here, and Fleet Farm's ready to go with unbeatable outdoor deals. Stock up on 24 packs of Fleet Farm bottled water. On sale now, just 2 for $5. Get 20 pounds of Bear Mountain barbecue pellets for $7.99 a bag. And spruce up your yard with bags of Superior Weed and Feed for just $19.99. Whether you're grilling or chilling, get what you need at the best prices guaranteed this summer at Fleet Farm. And check out all our deals at fleetfarm.com.
Warmer weather means more time on your feet. Make sure every step feels great. Whether it's running, walking, or working, proper support matters. The Shoe Doctor carries a wide selection of supportive shoes, custom insoles, and footwear solutions designed for comfort and performance. Stop in to find the right fit for spring and summer activities. The Shoe Doctor, helping feet feel their best season after season. Visit the Shoe Doctor today at 2321 East Claremont Avenue or online at ShoeDoctorEauClaire.com, where comfort starts.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. absolutely free. Text ALL to 321321. That's all to 321321.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like $80 off 192-piece DeWalt Mechanics tool sets, Milwaukee job site backpacks $89.99, Little Giant rubber utility mats 15% off. Plus, we offer Blaine's best price promise, guaranteeing the lowest price with us or we'll match it. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Do you have damage to your roof or exterior of your home or pole shed? Call the local experts. Call TF Exteriors now, 715-864-3876, your trusted partner for superior roofing solutions. Whatever you need done, locally owned and operated. Call TF Exteriors or go to tfexteriors.com. Free estimates, works with insurance, family owned, specializes in steel, siding, shingles, and gutters. That's tfexteriors.com.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Broadcasting live from the TDS Sports Talk 105.1 studios, it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Time is starting to run out, peeps. Time's starting to run out here for the to sign up for the Kasper Classic, the 5th annual Kasper Classic. Think about it. We're going to be approaching July 4th here coming up, and that means we're going to be. Excuse me, had to sneeze there. Going to be approaching July 4th coming up here, so that means we'll be under a month away from the Kasper Classic. Summer is flying on by, man, but we need your help. We need your help as we approach the finish line here. So whether you are a golfer, we still have a few spots left for that 10 a.m. and the 1 p.m. tee times. You can sign up your team simply by visiting sportstalk1051.com or the 715store.com. So you can do that, get in before those fill up. I think there's only like 2 left for the 10 a.m., a few more left for the 1 p.m. tee time slot. Also, we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for some raffle prize sponsors. So if you have anything that you would like to maybe donate as a raffle prize or be a whole sponsor or such, because that's where the funds go to help support Backyard Dreams. Those are our biggest ones there. We could definitely use the help. Volunteers, if anybody can help out for just a little bit, maybe during the day, maybe for sign up and such, hey, I'll take you over there too. So feel free to reach out because we want to continue to provide, promote, and create opportunities for anyone to have a chance to play and or chase their dreams and passions, and to help anyone overcome any obstacles in their way that may hinder them from their dreams and passions. That's what Backyard Dreams is all about. So if you can help us, if you can help support Backyard Dreams, that would be fantastic. Again, and even if it is just golfing that day, if you want to sign up your two-person team right now, again, just visit sportstalk1051.com. Maybe you're doing the 10, but you're like, you know what, I'll do another 9 for the 1 p.m. We've had plenty of people do that over the years too, and you definitely are allowed to do that. But again, a big thanks to all of our partners already. Lake Hallie Golf Course. We're going to be at Lake Hallie Golf Course this year. Park Ridge Distributing, Edward Jones, Financial Advisor, Kelsey Nikolai, Carpet City Flooring Center, Eau Claire, VFW Post 305, Myron Construction, Doodah Gin, AJM Automotive Services, Hy-Vee in Eau Claire, Economy Furniture, and Muldoon's Menswear. So again, big thanks to everybody who has already signed up to play and or is a partner and such. And I know Economy Furniture's donated an awesome raffle prize too, with the chair and that. The Packers also donating some stuff as usual for them. So big thanks to those fine peeps as well. So We got a couple of texts. C-Bomb says, I'm not saying the Brewers are going to win the division. I'm just saying if they hit like they did this weekend, they are stealing a wild card spot. G-Man says, did you catch a foul ball at the Brewer game? Did not, but I will say this about being at Target Field for the first time and Hudson going to his first pro baseball game of all time. Fantastic field. Really cool field over there. But I got to say, this was a cool story. So we're walking to our seats and, just trying to find them in that and walking through the concourse. And I kind of glanced over to one of the Target Field workers, and he kind of waved me over. And I kind of walked over, and he handed me a ball to give to Hudson. It was actually a BP ball. And I just thought that was such a cool gesture. I mean, Hudson's obviously wearing his Brewer stuff, and we're at a Twins game, and told the guy this is actually his first baseball game too. So I mean, he got a BP ball. I don't know who it was that hit it, but I mean, Hudson got a ball before even getting to his seat and such. So I thought that was, I got to give a shout out to whoever that was from the working at Target Field. So I thought that was really cool. And so still, drivers of Minnesota, not that great. Just saying, not that great. And but overall, everything else, fantastic. It was definitely awesome. We got through the heat and such. So very, very, very cool. So even saw a dude wearing an Eau Claire Express hat at the game. So all right, let's talk about that weekend series against the Brewers. Let's get things rolling, shall we? All right, let's get things rolling here. Brewers getting the brooms out for a little summer cleaning. Sweeping the Twins. Let's go back to Friday night's game. Should we start off there? Let's go back to Friday night's game where we saw Jacob Mizorowski continue to impress. I mean, it was a nice offensive game on that night too. It kind of gets overshadowed the night that Christian Yelich had. Also Friday night, 8 RBIs for that guy. We're going to talk about Christian Yelich coming up here in just a little bit because, I mean, this is also a guy that has just been flipping fantastic as of late. But Mizorowski in his second career start, another impressive outing from him in a 17-6 victory for the Brewers. Mizorowski 2-0 in 2 games, a 1.64 ERA. Mizorowski 11 no-hit innings to start his career, a first for a starter in the modern era. First for a starter in the modern era. Probably wishes he had that one pitch back. Did give up the 2-run shot, the 2-run home run, but struck out 6. Only issued 1 walk, which was an improvement from his first outing, his first career outing. But he was able to get through 6 innings, and Mizorowski 86 pitches in 6 innings. But another nugget surrounding Mizorowski. We mentioned the 11 no-hit innings to begin his career. But Mizorowski, the one hit he's given up was that home run, which is kind of like, oh, really? But he is the only MLB pitcher since 1900 to have more wins than hits allowed over his first 2 career starts. I mean, this kid, an incredibly small sample size in just 2 innings, but so far is living up to the dang hype. Is living up to all the attention, all of the fanfare and such. I mean, the kid is legit, and I know we're all goo goo gagaing, and I am too, about Wednesday start with him and Paul Skeens set to get the start on that Wednesday game. So that might be a low-scoring one. Who knows? But it's gonna definitely get that radar gun's definitely going to be hitting some triple digits quite a bit, I think, in that game. But the offense on Friday night too. I mean, it took to the 4th for them to get their first run for the first run in between any of these teams. And then it was just kind of like piling it on for the Brewers after that. 2 in the 6th, 5 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, 9 in the 5th. And Yelly, 4 hits and 6 at-bats, 8 RBIs for Christian Yelich. I mean, what a night for him. Frelick, 3 hits. This is what you want to see from the top of your order. Frelick, 3 hits. Cheerio, couple hits. Yelich, 4 hits with those 8 RBIs. That's exactly what you want to see from the top 3. And we got to tip our cap and give a nice shout out to Joey Ortiz because he also had 3 hits at the bottom of the order and 3 RBIs as well. But 19 total hits for the Brewers, 17 runs. And no home runs in that game. 17 runs, no home runs. Then we go to Saturday, a 9-0 win for the Brewers. And again, no home runs for the Brewers. 11 hits, 9 runs, no home runs. And they gave Quintana an early lead. Frelick starting it off, lead off right away. And the Brewers putting up a 2 spot in the first, followed it up by putting up a 2 spot in the second. Then took a while. Was pretty quiet after that, but able to add 3 more in the 8th for some nice insurance runs and a couple more in the 9th. But Quintana going 6 innings. He only gave up 3 hits. Did issue 4 walks, though, so he gave up more walks than hits in this game and only 1 K. But solid, picking up his 5th win of the season to improve to 5-2 and lowering his ERA to a 2.98. And again, in that game, Christian Yelich with a couple of hits. Sal Frelick with a couple of hits as well. Bryce Terang adding a couple. Joey Ortiz with a couple hits in that game too. So, I mean, not a bad series for Joey Ortiz. And then we go to Sunday. And then, well, this time we did have a couple home runs thanks to Rhys Hoskins and Bryce Terang. Each getting a homer, and Terang's was just a monster shot in yesterday's game. But the hits continuing. 17 total hits for the Brewers, 9 runs on 17 hits. The Twins did out-hit them, 18 hits. And they made a little bit of a run there towards the end of the game, inching closer and closer. But Trevor McGill locking it down for his 17th save on the season. But as we mentioned, I want to talk about a couple of individual offensive players from this series and kind of how they've been hitting as of late. Let's look at first off, I mean, Sal Frelick it's the summer of Sal. It's the summer of Sal. We all know he's the greatest baseball player to ever live, at least in my opinion right now. And if you don't know, I'm just being sarcastic. I love watching Sal Frelick play. But you look at what the guy has been doing lately here. His last 32 at-bats, 313, slugging a 406. We'll expand it to 59 ABs, 322. How about expanding it to the last 118 at-bats, 322. So far this season, Sal Frelick, 298. On base, 354. OPS, 751. Dude is getting it done at the plate and defensively on the field. Just doing Sal Frelick things. And let's give some love to Jackson Cheerio here as well. In his last 31 at-bats, he is hitting 290. Doesn't have any homers there. And specifically, like on Saturday's game, I mean, the dude was hitting some line drives. It just happened to be right at Byron Buxton and such. But, I mean, he was putting some good wood on the ball, at least in that game when I was watching being there on Saturday and such. You look at the line, and he was hitless, but he was hitting them pretty hard. Did have a couple hits on Friday and a hit yesterday, but Cheerio's hitting solid at the plate. We look at Bryce Terang, who kind of hitting in the middle of the order now, 5th spot, 6th spots, kind of changes here or there, but his last 29 at-bats, this guy's hitting 379, an on base of a 406, and he's also slugging a 586. So, I mean, he has been hitting really well as of late at the plate. And so far this season is a 274 hitter with a 719 OPS and a 352 on base percentage, all higher than his career averages. And then for as much criticism as we've been giving him from the offensive side, we have to put the same amount of energy in giving him some praise for what he has been doing as of late. Joey Ortiz, you look at his season numbers, they're not impressive. 212 batting average, lower than his career average. His on base is a 272, lower than his career average. His OPS for his season, 542, lower than his career average. But you look at what he has been doing lately, and you have to tip your cap. You have to give the man some credit. His last 27 at-bats, he's hitting 407. On base of a 407. Like, oh, okay, that's just his last 27. Let's expand it. Last 50 at-bats, 340. Now let's expand it a little bit more. His last 94 at-bats, 277. I'd still take 277 from Joey Ortiz. So for as much as I have, you have, we all have criticized Joey Ortiz and talked about his offensive play and lacking and such, we have to give him the same amount of credit and praise for what he has been doing as of late from the plate. He's in a groove right now. I don't feel like this is going to be something he's obviously going to maintain throughout the rest of the season. That would be awesome. But as we know, sports, specifically in baseball, you go on a heater, you go on some streaks. And right now, Joey Ortiz is on a streak offensively. And I don't think it's any coincidence, too, that this Brewers team overall is just, they're on one right now offensively. And they're taking advantage of it, and they're winning ball games with it, too. It's exactly what you wanted to see from a team that is hitting the ball incredibly well. So, shout out Joey Ortiz. But Christian Yelich right now, too, this guy, I mean, questions heading into the season, how much time would he be playing defensively in left field, in the field overall? How do you do it with Jackson Cheerio and at that time Garrett Mitchell and Sal Frelick? How many innings are you going to have split between those guys? And right now, I think it's pretty darn evident, especially considering how many outings Collins has had in left field and Bauer's even getting some time over there. Christian Yelich, I think, now has fully embraced the DH role because he's hitting very, very well as of late, too. You look at what he has done lately. His last 32 at-bats, Christian Yelich, 438. An on base of a 455, and he's slugging 688. Last 59 at-bats, 356. Last 119 at-bats, 7 home runs, 336 batting average, a 392 on-base percentage, slugging 563. So, yeah, that guy is hitting incredibly well from the plate, too. Got to give him some credit. No question. And we can't forget about this guy because he's probably going to get more playing time now in the field too, considering this was from Sophia Minute over the weekend that Garrett Mitchell had a setback in his rehab assignment after injuring his left shoulder diving back into first base. I mean, this is a guy now too, and he just can't stay healthy. I mean, there's so much potential and talent surrounding Garrett Mitchell. He just can't stay healthy. And now, sure feels like Isaac Collins is going to get more play time for all the talk about, like, okay, when Blake Perkins and Garrett Mitchell comes back, is Isaac Collins going to be able to stay on the field? Isaac Collins is going to be with the team for a while here, and he continues to hit very well from the plate as well. His last 26 at-bats, he's added a couple home runs. He's hitting 308, slugging 615. His last 42 ABs, he's hitting 310, slugging 619. His last 80 at-bats, 275 on base for 385, slugging 450. So he's hitting well. And the Maple Grove native back in Minnesota over the weekend, collecting hits in each of those games. And he only struck out once, and it was yesterday. I mean, you're getting quality at-bats from Isaac Collins. And he's going to continue to get more ABs now because of the setback from Garrett Mitchell. And Blake Perkins, it is going to be I think a while until we see Blake Perkins, because remember, he didn't get any ABs really in spring training. So I feel like they're going to be like, all right, you're going to get a ton of ABs in AAA and your minor or your rehab starts and such until he's back up with the ball club. I don't think they're going to rush that back. He's got to get some at-bats going here. But, I mean, you look at it, you know, when you hear diving back into first base and shoulder injury, I think Jimmy Nelson. Not saying it's going to be the same as Jimmy Nelson, but, I mean, that kind of affected his career. I mean, he was out for a while after that, but now you wonder, okay, trade deadline coming up next month. We've been talking about left side of the infield. Do they maybe look at another outfielder now at this point? Do they potentially look at someone like that? Another bat that maybe plays the outfield? I don't know, but something maybe to consider now. We'll find out more about Garrett Mitchell, but you know, that's a guy came in this year with a lot of like, okay, this is a guy. When you look at who could replace Willy Adames in terms of maybe some power and just having a bat in there, Garrett Mitchell was a very popular pick. He was my pick. And I even think before the season began, there was some national optimism and maybe a little hype surrounding Garrett Mitchell. Remember when MLB did their top 10 players at the position players, and Garrett Mitchell was already listed as a top 10 center fielder. And this is with Bryce Harang not even being listed as a top 10 second baseman, or Sal Frelick being listed as a top 10 right fielder. Guys who won Gold Gloves in that. So there was and remember, Garrett Mitchell was banged up last year too. There was a lot of hype surrounding Garrett Mitchell coming into this season, and injuries have derailed that. And now you have to wonder, maybe this is a poll question, but should the Brewers consider looking at acquiring a center fielder or another outfielder before the deadline? You look at the left side, I mean, that's been a big question mark and definitely a huge need according to a lot of Brewers fans, and rightfully so. But right now, Joey Ortiz is playing incredibly well. I mean, Caleb Durbin. All right, everybody's hitting right now. Caleb Durbin, his last 26 at-bats, he's hitting 346. Everybody's getting hits. He collected 3 hits yesterday. Now they begin a 3-game series against the Pirates. And I look at these next 2 series against the Pirates and then the Rockies as a heck of an opportunity, an absolutely big opportunity for the Brewers to rack up some more wins and to really kind of continue to move up in the standings and finish this month of June that we were talking about leading up to it as a big month of June. And now they can really end this thing on such a high note and go into July with a ton of momentum. A ton of momentum. Let's talk about this series in Game 1 starting tonight. First, we got to take a quick break. And we'll be back with more. Hit me up, though, Brewers fans. I want to hear from you, your optimism, your excitement level from what you've seen from the offense and from this team so far. Hit me up with a quick text. We'll be right back.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Hey guys, it's Dan Kasper here, and I've been going to Tilden Gun for years, and there's a reason I keep going back. Whether I need some new ammo, a new firearm, or just want to check out what's new, I know I'm in good hands. It's more than just a gun shop. It's a place where you're treated like family. The guys at Tilden Gun know their stuff. They've helped me find the right gear time and time again, whether it's for deer season, turkey season, or just adding something new to the collection. And they don't give you the runaround. They listen, they answer your questions, and they genuinely genuinely care about getting what you need. And if they don't have it, they'll work with you to find it. Over the years, I've sent plenty of my buddies their way, and every single one of them has come back saying the same thing. That's a place I'm going to keep going back to. If you haven't been to Tilden Gun, you're missing out. Great service, fair prices, and people you could trust. The only place I go to when it comes to looking for a deer rifle or a turkey shotgun is Tilden Gun. Visit them today at 12427 90th Avenue in Chippewa Falls and check them out online at tildengun.com.
We all live busy lives, and sometimes when you get that little bit of free time, it is sacred. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there was a place where you could go to find out how to spend your free time? Like where to eat, where to catch a show, where to take a walk, where to go support local. Good news. We have a place for that. It's called Around the 715. It's the spot that you go to when you want to find out what's going down around town. And the good news is it's easy to find. Just download the all-new Around the 715 app on your smartphone.
If Culligan isn't treating your home's water, you likely have water problems all around you, like hard-to-clean chalky residue on your shower, faucets, and bath, stains around your sink drains, spots on your dishes and glassware, plus dull, dried-out hair and skin, and problems you don't see, like scaly buildup in the water heater and pipes. But have no fear, you're in the clear with Culligan Products and Service. For all your residential and commercial water filtration needs,
Visit CulliganH2O.com for your local Culligan water dealer.
When you're in the business of building the future, why rely on yesterday's internet technology? 100% fiber internet from TDS is engineered to handle industrial strength demands with turbocharged symmetrical speeds and 99.9% network reliability. Get internet that keeps your business light years ahead. Upgrade to cable-crushing TDS fiber internet. Strong enough for your business, strong enough for you. Learn more at tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed. Subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Get ready to save with half-off deals. A great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for two with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
Sometimes you need to know what to do, where to do it, who to do it with. AroundThe715.com. Just the ticket you're looking for. Could be a concert, could be a festival, a fair you want to take part in. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about maybe an arts thing that's going on in the area. AroundThe715.com from the stations. A Midwest family, Eau Claire. It's AroundThe715.com. It's that simple. It's that easy. You're invited to go visit it today. AroundThe715.com.
When it came time to update the floors in my home, I wanted to make sure I did it right. So I went where I knew I would be taken care of, and that's Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. From the moment I walked through the doors, I could tell this place was different. No pushy salespeople, just a knowledgeable, friendly team ready to help you out. They really took the time to listen to what I wanted, helped me compare options, and showed me flooring that actually fit for my style and my budget. The selection, massive. Carpet, luxury vinyl, tile, you name it. Whether you're remodeling one room or your whole home, they've got you covered. And let me tell you about the install team. They were awesome as well. They were on time, respectful of my home, and the results were spot on. Just beautiful floors that made my space feel brand new. So if you're thinking about new flooring, don't overthink it. Trust the place that I trust. Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Local service, expert advice, and floors you will love for years to come. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire.
Get ready to save with half-off deals. A great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
where hot takes and hilarious moments collide. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from
Episode of Tailgate Outdoors with Tim Kaiser from Whitetail Partners. You can check it out on our podcast, either the Man Cave podcast or Tailgate Outdoors podcast. It's available on both of them. And if you got just a couple of seconds, if you've got if you listen to your podcasts on Apple or Spotify, if you could just that would be awesome. It helps us out. It helps get the word out. 5-star rating, positive review like on Apple and such, because that's what helps these fancy computers and algorithms get the name up more. Or you can check it out at sportstalk1051.com. Centerville Brad. Good to hear from Centerville Brad again. It's been a hot minute. Hopefully everything's well. Centerville Brad. I took my wife and kids to the game Friday night. We had a group around us cheering loudly when Ortiz got his batting average over 200 with his third hit of the night. Great weekend for the crew. Again, this was my first time at Target Field and such. I mean, it was a nice place. I had a lot of fun. I know Joe said on our video stream that he was also at the game on Saturday. Good morning. We were at Saturday's game as well. It was a really good game, but too hot to really enjoy. My 85-year-old dad still had a good time, even though he spent most of the game on the concourse. Definitely was hot, but we still enjoyed it. We were there the whole time and such. So, it was. I enjoyed it, had the free water and such, took advantage of that. Also, had some other beverages in that too, but there's just something different. And I know we put this up in a poll question, but what's your favorite sport to watch in person? Not on TV, but in person. And how our post Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question, how it all voted out, is actually how I would rank them personally for me too. And it wasn't even close. Baseball had 60% of the votes. Hockey finished second. Football was third. Basketball finished fourth. And honestly, I probably would go in that same order too. You're like, oh, dude, football would be third for you? Yeah, football probably would be third for me because watching hockey in person is different. When I went to that Wild and Kraken game, it was like, oh, okay, this is fun. This is awesome. It's constant back and forth. It's different. In baseball, it's different too. Anybody who's gone to a baseball game, to me, it's more relaxed. It's more chill. We're like football. You're just you're crammed in there, and you're play by play sort of thing. Baseball, you're a little bit more chill. You're a little bit more relaxed. You kind of sit back and all that. It's a different vibe. It's a different feel. And in a lot of ways too, I think it's in a lot of cases a little bit more enjoyable. So I don't what's if you didn't have a chance to vote, or maybe you did and you want to, because I can't tell who voted and such, and I don't really look at who voted in that, but what is your favorite sport to watch in person? Okay. Not on TV. Not in the comforts of your man cave or your living room and that, but what's the sport that you enjoy watching the most in person, getting a ticket to and going? And not necessarily what's cheaper or what's easier to get a ticket for either. Take away that stuff. Just from a pure enjoyment standpoint, what is the sport that you enjoy watching in person the most? I still go to baseball. I think I love going to Lambeau, and I love watching a Packers game in person. There's nothing like going to Lambeau and watching a Packers game, but that's I almost feel like if you want to really get into it and intense and cheer your butt off and get loud and all that, there you go. That's the thing. But if you want more of that chill, relaxed type of feeling, there's nothing that I don't think can beat baseball. So, Nick Do you think they will continue to revamp the pitching rotation and maybe move some players for position players? I don't think they'll move any of their young starters. I mean, I think they also have an eye towards the future with that. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Mizorowski isn't going anywhere. You've got Logan Henderson. I would not move him either. I think they've got their eye on to the future because Quintana's only here for this year. I think if Nestor Cortez was healthy, he'd be shipped off, but he's not going to be back till after the All-Star break, so maybe they could get something for him shortly after that. The way the Brewers are playing right now, Freddie Peralta, I would be shocked if he gets traded this year. Now, if it's this offseason, yes, I could see that. I definitely could see that because it fits what the Brewers have done with some of their other pitchers who are coming up in the final year of their deals. Devin Williams, Corbin Burns, and Josh Hader. So I would be disappointed, especially if the Brewers are in a playoff race, if they traded Peralta before the All-Star break. I wouldn't be surprised they did it in the offseason, though. So I don't see them really kind of moving from their young starters, young starting pitchers for position players at this point, unless it was more of a veteran one if they could get something for Nestor Cortez. But at this point, what can you get for Nestor Cortez? Because he's been hurt. But, he's a veteran, so teams are familiar with him. It's going to be a little bit of a seller's market when it comes to pitchers, too. Our top prospects all play short and third. Can Cooper Pratt or Jesus Mate play outfield? I don't think you want them playing outfield right now because, honestly, I feel like Cooper Pratt's probably going to be at the major league level here, not this year, but I think there's going to be a shot that he's probably going to be at that level next year. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to be so gung-ho trading for him, and I don't think they're ready to bring up Jesus Mate, and he's more of a shortstop, second baseman at this point anyways, too. So, no, I don't think you put those two guys, and I don't think they have an experience playing in the outfield anyways, so no. C-Bomb, baseball, hockey, football. I absolutely love watching NFL games live to see the entire field and the receivers' route trees, but the NFL is better to watch on TV. If you haven't been to an NHL game, you're doing yourself a disservice as a sports fan. But nothing beats sitting in the bleachers on a hot summer day, drinking a beer, watching a baseball game unfold. It's different, right? It's different. And it's not a bad different. It's baseball and football are like two complete opposite. You have to have like two different mindsets, I feel like, going into that thing. I feel like that you got to be paying attention to the whole thing. Like football, it's like, okay, when do I go get a beverage or when do I go to the bathroom? All right. It's like everybody leaves after the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, halftime or whatever. And it's like, okay, then you're going to be waiting forever. But you just have to have this different mindset, I feel like. Whereas baseball, if I just want to want to watch a ball game and kick back and relax a little bit, that's baseball. It's different. C-Bomb also says, oh, no, that's part of the same one. So, the other Carl says, baseball without a doubt is the best in-person experience. I agree. Take away pricing, baseball is probably a little bit cheaper for some games than going to Lambeau Field and such, but I don't know. I love going and kicking back and relaxing and watching a baseball game. But I would agree with you too, C-Bomb. After I went to an NHL game in person, it's definitely different. It's different going to that and watching that in person. I'd love to get back to another NHL game, no question. So keep those coming. Tell you what, we'll talk more about the Brewers and the Pirates coming up in the next hour. Preview Game 1 tonight. We get Chad Patrick on the mound for the Crew, so we'll start to preview that. But I want to continue to hear from you, Brewers fans, this morning. All right, your reaction, your wrap up, your recap from the weekend series against the Twins, where the offense was the story for the Brewers over the weekend. I mean, you talk about the bats coming alive. The weather was hot, but the offense was maybe even a little bit hotter for the Brewers this past weekend. I mean, just fantastic numbers 35 runs, 47 hits. And remember, first 2 games of the series, including Friday night's game, where they didn't even have a home run, and they still put up 17 runs. They had 2 home runs this whole series, and both of them came in yesterday's game. So 35 runs, 47 hits, and a .402 team batting average. Just an awesome weekend for this Brewers offense. And then Friday night's game, obviously, with Mizorowski doing what he did, and then even Quintana pitching well in the game on Saturday. Maybe I'm making more out of this than anything, but you factor in the heat and for those pitchers too, I kind of give them a little bit more credit. I give them a little bit more credit for going out there. I know Mizorowski was Friday night and such, but Quintana and that, I'm like, whew. I don't know how some of those guys could do it. Just sitting in the stands there was getting a little steamy. But man, just overall an impressive weekend for the Crew. So continue to send me your thoughts, your reaction, your analysis from the Brewers this past weekend. Text me 715-830-1912. Also, it is Monday. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. All right, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Text those on over. Best ones I'll read on the air. We'll play a little crystal ball coming up. Maybe I'll save that for just past 8 o'clock, I think. So, yeah, we'll do a little crystal ball coming at you as well. Shot clock's going to cut me off here in about 10 seconds, so we got some news updates, and then we'll start to preview game 1 of this series against the Pirates. I mean, after this weekend, and then you look at what the Brewers have done lately, I don't want to say must win. These are series you better win if you're the Brewers playing at the level you are right now, going up against Pittsburgh and Colorado. Record-wise, the 2 worst teams in the National League, and they're coming to your house. You better win these games. All right? So let's start to break it down. Game 1 preview coming up after these news updates.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's your news done differently with Morgan McCarthy.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today. Coming out of a steamy weekend, we plug back into a new week with headlines on the world stage that bring in a Wisconsin connection. Lawmakers from our state are among those reacting to the U.S. bombing of Iran nuclear sites over the weekend. It was in an address to the nation Saturday night that President Trump called the strikes a spectacular military success. Eau Claire area Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden says he fully supports President Trump's actions to defend Israel and send a clear message to America's adversaries that the U.S. does not tolerate nuclear intimidation. Showing you different sides so you can decide. On the Democratic side of the aisle, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin has issued a statement saying that President Trump's bombing of Iran without congressional approval ignores the Constitution, puts American men and women in uniform at risk, and puts the country on the verge of an all-out war. In headlines that move us to our areas and take us to the courts, it's a 5th OWI. This as a New Richmond man faces those charges after what records say is a 5th arrest for OWI. 50-year-old Frankie Paschke was pulled over Sunday morning in Dunn County. Observing some smell of alcohol, the deputies did do a sobriety test, and that was failed by Paschke, taken into custody again for that 5th OWI. We have an update on burglary charges. This happened in the Vernon County area. A woman is now free on parole after being arrested heading into the weekend in connection with a burglary. Items stolen include power tools that were reported missing from a building last week. Investigating officers say the case led them to the suspect, Jordan Leon Womack. She was taken into custody on charges that include burglary and parole violation. Well, you've heard an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but what about a handful of strawberries? A study from San Diego State University says 4 strawberries a day could improve your cognitive skills. That seems specific, but possibly very interesting, Tammy?
The study followed 35 men and women in their 70s and found that eating 26 grams of freeze-dried strawberry powder made from fresh berries every day for 8 weeks led to better performance on cognitive tests. Researchers said the strawberries also helped lower blood pressure and increase disease-fighting antioxidants in the blood. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
You know, Kasper always likes to brag about his sports skills. Says he can slam dunk, beer trophy for softball, hole-in-one for golf, a perfect plie in ballet. But the one thing he always falls short on?
Better performance on cognitive tests.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports aficionados and armchair quarterbacks, welcome to the Dan Kasper Show, where sports passion meets expert analysis. Dan's encyclopedic knowledge and infectious passion for all things sports is both impressive and sad.
I have many leather-bound books.
So get ready to laugh, cheer, and maybe even facepalm a few times.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
It's the Dan Kasper Show.
Second hour kicking off right now on this Monday morning. Hopefully, you all had a absolutely fantastic weekend. Maybe, hopefully, able to stay a little bit cool. But it seems like a lot of you also were at the Brewers-Twins game, whether it was Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So, but hopefully, you're able to stay cool and beat the Heat a little bit there. And ready to hit up a brand new week here as we start to close out. Can you believe it? We're already starting to close out the month of June. Final full week of June here. So we're going to do a little crystal ball. We'll play that. It's probably about an hour. We are taking it is Monday. So what is your I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, fill in the blanks. I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. Hit me up with a text or comment on the video streams and such. Reminder though too, since it is June 23rd, the countdown is on. It's the final countdown till the 5th annual Kasper Classic being held at Lake Hallie Golf Course, and we need your help to help support Backyard Dreams. Whether you want to golf, we still have some spots open, specifically in the 1 p.m. slot. So if you want to sign up your two-person team for just $90, that includes a meal, carts, drink tickets. And such, and be able to golf at the gorgeous and beautiful Lake Hallie Golf Course. You can go to sportstalk1051.com right now and sign up your two-person team. If you're not a golfer, but you want to help support Backyard Dreams, or you just can't golf and you still want to help support Backyard Dreams, we're looking for some whole sponsors or raffle prize donations too, and even some volunteers to maybe just help out for a few minutes or such. Hey, we'll take the help. We want to continue to help Backyard Dreams, our charitable entity here, and help those kiddos and help anybody be able to have a chance to play and chase their dreams and passions. So if you're willing to help out in any way, let me know. Hit me up. All right, and we'll talk. Joe says, going to see my first pro soccer game this Wednesday up in Minnesota. I know most people don't like soccer. I would say most people don't like soccer. I think a lot of people play soccer, maybe just don't follow it too much. But Joe, you bring up maybe a question that I could throw out to others out there. What is the one sport that you have not? So we've been asking, what's your favorite sport to watch in person, to go to in person? What's the one sport that maybe is on your bucket list, or the one sport that you haven't seen in person that you wouldn't mind maybe checking out in person? Is there? I got one. And this will probably go in the minority for a lot of people, but it may shock some people that I haven't seen in person yet. I wouldn't mind going to a PGA event and watching golf in person. I've not gone to a golf event, a pro golf event, and watched it in person, walked the course and or watched a group. I haven't done that. I have not been able to do that. So I wouldn't mind checking that out and doing that once. I wouldn't mind trying to go to a PGA event. And that one to me too is like, for me, okay, Rory would be a draw, maybe Bryson at. I still want to see Tiger at some level at some point. And maybe that's going to be a Champions one. Who knows? But that would be one. I know I might be in the minority on that one, but is there a sport? And maybe a lot of you listening right now is like, no, I've watched soccer, pro soccer in person. I've done this and that, but maybe not pro. But is there a college? Maybe it's college basketball game, college football game. I wouldn't mind going to the baseball or the College World Series. That'd be a cool thing to go check out too. So, what's the one sport that you have not seen in person that's you wouldn't mind checking out? You don't necessarily have to be a fan of it either, but maybe you're intrigued about it. Like C-Bomb says, never been to an NBA game. I wouldn't mind checking that out just to experience it. C-Bomb, by the way, just because I know you're listening right now, maybe we'll hit this up tomorrow, but for the rest of you listening too, maybe tomorrow, maybe at some point this week, your biggest sports annoyances. Okay. Whether it's at a game or maybe somebody says something. It's like, that's not, for example, if somebody calls runs in baseball points, that's just like, no, that annoys me. What's some of your biggest annoyances in sports? Think about that. We're not going to hit that up today, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a homework assignment for all of you. All right. Think about a list of some of your biggest annoyances. It could be, it's a wide range, whether it's like, whenever I go to a game and somebody does this, or when somebody says this or calls something this. What's some of your biggest annoyances out there? So think about that for a little bit. All right. Let's get back to some more Brewers talk, though. Brewers, game 1 to begin this series with the Pirates. I think it's a big series in terms of, all right, let's continue to ride this momentum. You're back at home, and you're going up against, record-wise, the 2 worst teams in the National League. You're on a heater right now. You've climbed up into the standings. You're 3.5 back from the Cubs for first place. You're in that final wild card spot right now, a National League that is looking to be pretty deep, and it's going to be tough to make the postseason. So that's why I look at these upcoming games with the Pirates and the Rockies as big in terms of, like, you better win. Not necessarily calling them must win. I'm calling them you better win. You at least better win 2 out of 3. You better win these series. That, in my opinion. That's how I look at it. And it starts with game 1 tonight. We've got Chad Patrick on the mound for the Brewers. Now, Chad Patrick, to begin the season, was up there with Freddie Peralta as probably the most consistent starting pitcher for the Brewers. For the longest time, did not give up more than 3 earned runs in his starts. However, in his last 2 games, he has given up more than 3 earned runs. You go back to the 11th against Atlanta, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Also gave up a couple of home runs. And then against the Cubs, back on the 17th, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. In fact, he's riding every start that he's made in June, which has been 3, all losses. But the Padres won. Again, it's one of those, he gets charged for the loss, but it was a quality start. 6 innings, 1 earned run. That's a quality start. But his last 2 performances, last 2 games, they've been his worst, I think it's fair to say, from this whole season. April, he was awesome. 5 games, a 1.82 ERA. Kind of came down to earth a little bit in May, 3.32 ERA. And so far in June in 3 games, he's at a 5.63 ERA. Will we get a bounce back performance from Chad Patrick tonight? That's what we want to see. We want to see Chad Patrick have that bounce back performance. It's just kind of a question of, like, Are we? Because if we ever get Brandon Woodruff back at some point in the starting rotation, if that ever happens, and you look at who's currently in the rotation, Woody ain't taking Peralta's spot. He ain't taking Mizorowski's spot. He ain't taking Quintana's spot. So then there's Priester or Patrick. At this point, I say it's Patrick. But if Patrick wants to make a few more final cases why he should remain in that starting rotation, it's got to start tonight. He's got to bounce back from these last two starts, and it's got to start tonight going up against this Phillies team. And really, not Phillies. The Pirates don't have any experience going up against Patrick. On the flip side, you've got Braxton Ashcraft going for Pittsburgh, going to do a little opener type of feel. 7 games, 1-0 with a 1.54 ERA. But you look at those games, and it's pretty much an opener. Okay? You look at it, maybe an inning, maybe a couple innings there. That's about it. But you look at what he has done in 6 games so far in the month of June. 1-0 with a 2.08 ERA. Okay? He's been pretty effective at this opening gig for the Pirates. In those 6 games, he's only given up 2 total earned runs. And one of them was in his latest appearance back on the 20th against the Rangers, where he went 2 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. So you look at the experience, again, going up against these lineups and these teams, there isn't any. But you look at the Pirates overall, and you look at what they have done, maybe from an offensive standpoint, right? We know it with the Pirates, they got Paul Skeens. That's kind of like, hey, you can hang your hat on Paul Skeens, but Paul Skeens is pretty much like the Jacob deGrom from a few years ago. He's got the best ERA, but he's got a losing record right now. But, Pirates offense outside of yesterday, they put up 8 runs in an 8-3 win against the Rangers to avoid the sweep. Before that, you're looking at 2. They did put up 8 runs against the Tigers on the 19th to avoid, again, a sweep. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 5, 2. 10 runs against the Marlins back on the 9th. So, it's an offense that's not putting up a ton of runs right now. The Brewers take advantage of that. Can this pitching staff, can Chad Patrick tonight get back to maybe what he was doing at least in May, right? At least in May. And can this Brewers offense continue to stay hot? Because if they can, this should be a very series. You're talking about a Pirates team that's dead last in Major League Baseball in home runs. Okay? Dead last. Dead last in RBIs. 247. Dead last. They are also dead last in runs scored. Obviously, if they're dead last in RBIs. Okay? They're not dead last in hits, but they're 25th out of 30. It is not a good offense when it comes to the Pirates. They're 29th in OPS, 29th out of 30. The only team that's worse than them is the White Sox. Okay? If you just want to do straight up batting average with this thing, 28th out of 30, a 227 batting average. You want to do on-base percentage? We can look at all of these offensive numbers, and Pirates are just not good offensively. They're 24th in on-base percentage. Okay? And then you got a Brewers team that has been hot from the plate. this should be a win. Okay? Give Chad Patrick an early run support. Give him some early run support. It seems like this is a guy that really kind of thrives on some early run support from his outings so far this season. Give him that early run support. Put the pressure, because I feel like the Pirates are a team that if they get in that hole, they're down a few runs right away. They can't climb out of that hole. Be aggressive. Manufacture those runs. Continue to do what you've been doing from the offensive side, especially from this past weekend. You put the Pirates in a hole early and just shut them out right away. Dig that hole so it's too far for them to try to dig out of. That's what I want to see from this Brewers offense. Because I think it's going to be important for the Brewers to win these first two games of this series. That's my feeling because, on Tuesday, you got Peralta on the mound going up against Heaney. Okay, it's a left-handed pitcher. But you look at some of the numbers from the Brewers, not to get too far ahead, they've had some success against him. But I think it's really important for the Brewers to make sure that they get these first two wins of this series because all the attention, all the hype, all the fanfare is going to be on that Wednesday matchup with Mizorowski and Skeens. And Brewers have had a few games against Skeens. But you look at this year, 4-6, but a 1.85 ERA. The dude, 106 Ks. That's going to be a tough game. I know Mizorowski's out there, but it's just his third start. We have a better idea of the type of pitcher that Paul Skeens is compared to Mizorowski, just a bigger sample size. But I think at least get yourself in a position to hopefully maybe get a series sweep. Get these first two wins. I think it sets up well for the Brewers to get these first two wins of this series. All right, let's take a quick break. We got before we do that, let's go to a couple. Joe says the one sport I have not seen but want to see is a rugby sevens match or a full rugby match. An F1 race would be cool as well. Maybe Surveyor can help you with the rugby match. So, all right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Hit me up with those texts. I wanna chat with you this morning. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Hey everyone, it's Dan Kasper here, and when my family needs some auto work done, I take our vehicles to AJM Automotive in Eau Claire, and I haven't looked back since. The team there knows their stuff and treats you like a neighbor, not just a customer. They're honest, reliable, and they always get the job done right, whether it's a routine maintenance or something bigger, or maybe even getting some new tires. I trust AJM Automotive to keep my car running smooth. Just give them a call today at 715-835-9523.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
If you're a true sports fan, there's only one place to be. That's Sports Talk 105.1. From local takes to national stories, we're talking sports all day, every day. Catch fresh local content like the Dan Kasper Show in the mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and dive a little bit deeper with the Man Cave podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, you can stream all of our programming anytime, anywhere. It's Sports Talk the way it should be on Sports Talk 105.1.
When you're in the business of building the future, why rely on yesterday's internet technology? 100% fiber internet from TDS is engineered to handle industrial strength demands with turbocharged symmetrical speeds and 99.9% network reliability. Get internet that keeps your business light years ahead. Upgrade to cable-crushing TDS fiber internet. Strong enough for your business, strong enough for you. Learn more at tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed, subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Kids and seniors, Quartz wants to see you at American Family Field. On select weekday home games, kids 14 and under and seniors 60 plus can save 50% on tickets. Following the game, seniors may stroll along the outfield warning track. Visit brewers.com/kids and seniors to learn more. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Has anyone told you how amazing your business website is? I didn't think so. Do you think it's just sort of Websticks has taken thousands of websites from to amazing, and you only pay for the help you need with blocks of time that never expire. It's kind of brilliant. Websticks. Find out more at websticks.com. That's websticks with an X.com.
Stunning sights, more clicks, web support from Websticks.
Have you heard about The Farm? Not A Farm. Of course you've heard about A Farm. I'm talking about 95.9 The Farm. It's the station that'll keep you company while you are working to keep this 715 running. With ag reports at the top and bottom of each and every hour, brought to you by our very own Bob Bolsold, Jill Welke, and Kristen Smith. The Farm will keep you informed while you keep the 715 fed. Local updates and a great playlist. The Farm's got a little something for everybody. That's 95.9 The Farm. Streaming or on your radio. Welcome to The Farm.
Protect your livelihood with a livestock risk protection policy through Egg Country Farm Credit Services. With an LRP policy, you're covered if the market price unexpectedly drops for fed cattle, feeder cattle, or swine. Coverage options range from 70 to 100%. Get an LRP policy from a team that knows agriculture. Contact your local Egg Country office to learn more. Egg Country, focused on ag, focused on you. Egg Country is an equal opportunity lender and provider.
Come see the Eau Claire Express. This season at Carson Park, watch the Express take the field in their new uniforms and logos and see the all-new WNB Financial video board in the outfield. You can buy your general admission and grandstand tickets, check out the 2025 Eau Claire Express schedule, and see all the summer team promotions at eauclaireexpress.com. And get more info at the Eau Claire Express Facebook page. Enjoy summer baseball with the Eau Claire Express.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Broadcasting live from the TDS Sports Talk 105.1 studios, it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Speaking of the Express, they're going to be back at Carson Park tonight after a long road trip. Finally back at home for a game tonight against the La Crosse Loggers, and then they visit La Crosse for a couple games before being back on Thursday there too. But first pitch for tonight's game, 6:35, and the Express riding a 2-game winning streak right now. So you want to head on out to the ballpark tonight? It's a perfect opportunity to catch some Express action at Carson Park, 6:35 tonight. So when you look at Major League Baseball, just since we're talking a lot of Brewers here this morning, kind of looking at the landscape, power rankings, I give or take, I always find them, just kind of interesting to see where some people kind of view teams in that, and they're mostly, for me, kind of like a topic that we can all debate about, like, oh, so and so should be higher, my team should be higher or lower, whatever the case may be. But when it comes to the Brewers, I kind of just look at it, see where maybe a national perspective is with them. And right now they do have the Brewers as a top 10 team, at least on MLB.com. So, I mean, the rest of the top 10 probably no surprise at number 1. I mean, it's still the Tigers. 2 is the Dodgers. 3 is the Cubs. 4 is the Phillies. 5 is the Mets. 6 Astros. 7 Yankees. 8 the Rays, and the Giants coming in at number 9. So after that, after the Brewers, they have the Padres at 11 and the Cardinals at 12. So, but you look at where things are at right now in terms of the standings with Major League Baseball. As we approach after this 3-game series against the Pirates, we'll be at that halfway mark for the Brewers. We'll be right at 50%, 81 games into the season. So, but where things are at right now, at least in the National League, you got the Dodgers, you've got the Phillies, and you got the Cubs as your division leaders. Dodgers with the most wins, then it's the Phillies, and then the Cubs. Then it's the Mets as the top wild card team because, I mean, well, they're fighting back and forth with the Phillies for the lead in the NL East. Then you got the Giants, but now the Brewers sitting there after winning 4 in a row and going 7-3 in their last 10 games. Padres just a half game back. And, you know, you kind of look at the 2 Padres, they have a chance to bounce back, and they're going up against the Nationals starting today. And then you got that Cardinals and Cubs series, which should be a good one. You got those 2 teams, obviously, who really, really dislike each other. But Brewers, when you look at 2, I mean, they now, after taking 3 on the road against the Twins, and and winning that last game against the Cubs on the road, they are now back to 500. They're up to 500 for their road record, 20-20. But again, looking at this series with Pittsburgh and Colorado after it, Brewers are 23-15 at home. Again, another reason why to take advantage of this and to make sure to win this series against the Pittsburgh Pirates and to win the series against the Colorado Rockies. To win these games. Brewers 26-24. 26-24 against teams who have a 500 or better record. And right now, of all the playoff teams in the National League, the teams that currently are in a playoff spot, of all the teams, that's the Dodgers, the Phillies, Mets, Giants. Only one team has a below 500 record against teams who are 500 or better. Granted, it's 1 game below 500, but still 1 game below 500. That would be the Cubs. The Cubs are 24-25 against teams with a 500 or better record. Dodgers are 26-20. Philly is 23-20. Cubs 24-25. Mets 24-20. Giants 25-22. Brewers 26-24. Every team that is on the outside looking in is either 500 or below. And there's only one team that's 500, and that's the Reds, actually. 22-22 against teams with a 500 or better record. Now they're going up against the Yankees. But the Padres are an interesting team because, you know, they're 42-35. And we know they got talent, and they're just a half game out from wild card spot, and they play an incredibly tough division. But they're 23-13 at home, 10 games above 500 at home. 19-22 on the road, but 18-28. 18-28 against teams who are 500 or better. Now, that could be, a lot of it is look at their division, right? I mean, maybe it's just their division schedule and such, but then it's like, well, the Giants are 25-22 and the Dodgers are 26-20, but the Padres right now 18-28, and that's after the Padres took 2 out of 3 against the Brewers too, not too long ago. Run differential, I always look at run differentials and such, and while the Brewers made a big jump after this weekend, after this weekend's games, they're now a plus 41. They're tied with the Phillies right now. The team with the biggest run differential is the Cubs at a plus 96. Then you have the Dodgers at a plus 78, followed by the Mets with a plus 61. Giants plus 46, and then it's Brewers and Phillies at a plus 41. So American League wise, I mean, it's still the Tigers, it's the Yankees, it's the Astros as your division leaders. It's a tight wild card, just like the National League. Tampa Bay, I mean, you got to tip your cap to Tampa Bay. I'll admit it. I didn't think they would do anything again this year. I mean, it's like, okay, they're at a different stadium because of Tropicana getting damaged in that. And it's like you look at their division and that, and it's like, they're really going to do anything? They just continue to win. They're kind of the Brewers of the American League, really. But Tampa Bay now, the top team in the wild card chase. They're only just a couple back from the Yankees. You gotta just marvel at what they've been able to do. Toronto's right behind them. Cleveland and Seattle tied for that final wild card spot. Boston's just a half game out. Then you got Kansas City, who's 2 back. Texas is 2 back. The Angels are just 2.5 back, and Minnesota now 2.5 back. Minnesota, if you're a Twins fan listening right now, I wanna hear a text from you or something, or read a text from you. Like, where are you at with your team? Because you're 1-9 in your last 10 games. I mean, you can't be feeling too great, I would imagine, especially considering what you saw this past weekend against the Brewers and that. But I can't imagine you're feeling too hot, no pun intended, about your team. I will say this too with the Brewers offense. For anybody really hoping that the Brewers, before the trade deadline, a little over a month away from right now, before the Brewers, or with the way the Brewers are playing right now, anybody hoping that they would make some moves for an impact bats and such, right now, it probably isn't trending in that direction that they would. Now, I'm not saying they still wouldn't, and I would agree with everybody that says, well, it's only just one series or the last few games. I would agree. But anybody hoping that they would make a move to get another bat on the left side of the field, right now, I would say the odds of that happening, probably not the greatest. Probably wasn't the greatest to begin with, but it's probably still not even that great. But let me ask you this, Bruce. With Garrett Mitchell suffering a setback in his rehab start, and knowing Blake Perkins is going to be a long time before he even comes back, because, yes, he's doing rehab stuff, but again, he missed like spring training, so they're going to try to get him a ton of at-bats as possible. Do you feel like finding another outfielder is more important? Has that moved up to number one in the priority list than, say, third base or shortstop? Has that become the number one thing for you as a Brewers fan that you want to see your team acquire? Maybe it's like, you know what? Isaac Collins, he's been a nice player, but I'd rather have the Brewers go get a center fielder and put Jackson Chourio back at left field. And maybe that center fielder is a bat too. I would think it would be a bat. Like, are you more, and I don't know, again, we don't know how long Garrett Mitchell is potentially going to be out, but when you hear shoulder injury sliding back into first, I don't know if anybody else went immediately to Jimmy Nelson, but I did. And I'm like, crap. So I guess the question is, do you have more confidence in an outfield structure of Collins, Chourio, and Frelick? And we're kind of talking mostly from I guess, an offensive standpoint. Would you rather have that, or would you rather see them bring in a center fielder, move Chourio back to left field, and then you have this center fielder, whoever it may be? Or do you still feel like it's the left side of the infield? Like, okay, appreciate Durbin and Ortiz, but we still need upgrades over there. They're playing well right now. Offensively, they're playing well, but we still need an upgrade. Do you think center field, outfield, whatever it may be, or maybe you're like, hey, you know what? Keep Chourio in center field, get a left fielder with a power up bat. That could be the case too. Let's just keep it outfield. Do you feel like the need is now outfield, or do you feel like it's still left field? And I think a lot of it, too, will probably be what's available. Who's available? What positions are available? I mean, we've talked so much about shortstops and third basemen, heck, maybe even a second baseman, and move Terang over to short. You know, Athletic, this was a few days ago, but they had a big board. Okay, an MLB trade deadline big board 1.0, the top 30 players in a post-Devers trade. 30 names that could be that could move in the next 6+ weeks and affect the pennant race. Number 2 is Freddie Peralta on this. And what they write on here is the projection systems don't like the Brewers, basically pegging them as a 500 team that is more likely than not to drop out of the playoff hunt as we go forward. Well, this was a few days ago. Things have changed. As of right now, Peralta won't be traded. I mean, it won't happen. He will not be traded. He will not be traded. I can't see that happening, especially with the way that the Brewers are at right now. But looking at some potential other names on this, you look at it and like, okay, there's more outfield options than there is probably at infield, specifically when it comes to the left side of the field. I mean, you got Duran from the Red Sox. You know, specifically kind of a left fielder. And you look at what he's done so far this year, it's just 8 home runs, but he does have 8 triples. He's hitting .257. Maybe you look at Mullins from Baltimore, Cedric Mullins from Baltimore as an option. Duran actually is number 1 on the big board. Cedric Mullins is number 3 on the big board. Could that be an option? Now, he doesn't hit for high averages, but he does have some power. And he's got some steal speed. And he plays center field. So you got a couple options. And he's a left-handed bat as well. You go down the list, it just, there's more likely option. I mean, Luis Robert from the White Sox. Now, he's struggled since being an all-star in 2023. But could he be an option for the Brewers? Maybe the price is a little bit lower. But his price tag, money-wise, too, is a little bit high contract such. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Brewers do make a move that's for an outfielder. Just because there's more options out there. There's more options for bringing in a bat from an outfield perspective. It might make a lot of Brewers fans upset. Might kind of grind their gears a little bit, but considering the all the options out there, and right now with it being such a close, I mean a very, very, very close playoff chase as we approach halfway through this regular season, I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually an outfielder that is a trade made for the Brewers. All right, let's take a quick break. What are your I'm not saying, but I'm just saying? All right, what are your I'm not saying, but I'm just saying? Best ones I'll read on the air. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back to finish up the second hour coming up after these quick words.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
Warmer weather means more time on your feet. Make sure every step feels great. Whether it's running, walking, or working, proper support matters. The Shoe Doctor carries a wide selection of supportive shoes, custom insoles, and footwear solutions designed for comfort and performance. Stop in to find the right fit for spring and summer activities. The Shoe Doctor, helping feet feel their best season after season. Visit the Shoe Doctor today at 2321 East Claremont Avenue or online at shoedoctoreauclair.com, where comfort starts.
We love when you listen to our local Midwest family Eau Claire radio stations, but did you know all of them are in one convenient location too? It's the Around the 715 app. Take us with you hiking on one of our many outdoor trails in west central Wisconsin. Sync up a station to your Bluetooth speaker while sitting around the campfire on a Saturday night. Heck, you can put your earbuds in and listen on a cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean. We are based locally, but you can take us with you globally with the Around the 715 app. Living local, but living large.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's ALL to 321-321.
Have you heard about The Farm? Not A Farm. Of course you've heard about A Farm. I'm talking about 95.9 The Farm. It's the station that'll keep you company while you are working to keep this 715 running. With ag reports at the top and bottom of each and every hour, brought to you by our very own Bob Bolsold, Jill Welke, and Kristen Smith. The Farm will keep you informed while you keep the 715 fed. Local updates and a great playlist. The Farm's got a little something for everybody. That's 95.9 The Farm. Streaming or on your radio. Welcome to The Farm.
We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like $80 off 192-piece DeWalt Mechanics tool sets, Milwaukee job site backpacks $89.99, Little Giant rubber utility mats 15% off. Plus, we offer Blaine's best price promise, guaranteeing the lowest price with us or we'll match it. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
The Mobile Man Cave is hitting the road for some tailgate road shows. Where should we go next? Let us know by visiting sportstalk1051.com.
A big thanks to a few of you who have reached out saying that you'll help out with the golf outing and backyard dreams and such. You know who you are. Big thanks. I got a couple of emails and some texts and such. So huge thank you to all of you. I got to give you guys a shout out. Tip of the cap. tip of the cap to a lot of you. One of our fine partners for the outing and such is VFW Post 305. And coming up this weekend, this Sunday, actually, got a fun event for the pups. For the pups, too. Join VFW Post 305 for Yappy Hour, Sunday, June 29th from 3 to 5 p.m. on the VFW Post 305 patio. Humans, just $20 per person. Dogs are free. Includes a couple of drink tickets, an appetizer platter, and a free homemade dog treat. If you could, just please bring an unused donation for the ECA, the Eau Claire County Humane Association, such as blankets, dog or cat food, toys, etc. Just no rawhides. And then because it's almost the 4th, if you don't have any plans, you do now. 4th of July party in the pavilion. Join VFW Post 305 and Hannah Storm as they rock the pavilion this 4th of July. Party starts at 4 p.m. with Hannah Storm taking the stage at 5 p.m. They'll be featuring drink specials as well as flip-flop chicken. Flip-flop chicken. Man, that sounds really good right now. So we've got Josh says, I'm not saying Sal Frelick should be the Brewers all-star selection. I'll finish the rest of that for you. But he should be the Brewers. But yeah, he should be the Brewers all-star selection. So that's just, hey, I think he should. I don't think he will. I don't think he's got the popularity, the name stuff out there, but I think he should be. I think if I had to pick right now, it's probably going to be Freddie. Is it too early to put Mizorowski in there? Is it too early for that? When did Paul Skeens make his debut last year and then he was named a starter? I think he made his debut earlier than Mizorowski did, but I think right now it's probably Freddie Peralta. So, but I think it should be Sal Frelick. I think he should be. Gosh, I got to get a Sal Frelick jersey now. I mean, I have to, right? I mean, that's got to be a thing. So, last call for those. We'll get to some more just past 8:00 this morning. I'll tell you what mine is now. I was going to say it, but I might as well say it now. I'm not saying that all calf injuries will lead to Achilles tears, but I'm just saying, if I got a player who's dealing with a calf injury, I'm probably sitting them out now for the foreseeable future. This is something I want to talk to Dr. Crow about when we talk to him next. But last night in the NBA Finals with the OKC Thunder picking up the championship, taking down the Pacers in Game 7, 103-91. The big thing, though, outside of the Thunder winning the championship, the big thing, and there's going to be a what if that is going to be played for Pacers fans and for everybody else who are basketball fans. The big what if is if Halliburton doesn't get hurt, is the outcome different? Tyrese Halliburton, Achilles injury. You see the video, you see the pop. Okay? And this is a guy that's been dealing with a calf injury. He goes out there and he plays. And now he has an Achilles tear. We've heard about that with so many, specifically for basketball players. KD was a big one, right? When Kevin Durant, he was dealing with a calf injury, went out there and played, tears his Achilles. I just wonder, are we going to see teams now? And I get it. This is the NBA Finals, okay? You want your best players out there. But at some point, are we going to see teams now say, okay, you're dealing with a calf injury, you're sitting out? Because there's got to be this increased risk of these tearing your Achilles, and then you're pretty much done for the rest for the next season. I mean, at this point, Tyrese maybe comes back for the postseason. We don't know. We have no idea. KD, it took a long time for him to get back. So I'm not saying every calf injury is going to lead to an Achilles tear, but I'm just saying, you look at some of the recent history and then it's like, if I'm a team and my star player's dealing with a little bit of a calf issue, yeah, I'm going to get nervous. I'm going to get nervous, and I might have to sit down my guy and make sure that calf is ready to go and and it's not going to increase in any, chances of tearing an Achilles. But you look at this last year in the NBA alone. Dame, Tatum, now Tyrese, all Eastern Conference. If I'm a team in the Eastern Conference now that is like the Knicks or the Magic, who made already a big trade, if I'm some of those teams, Cleveland, I'm looking at those teams, the Bucks, the Pacers, and the Celtics, with 3 of their best players, now going to miss a huge chunk, if not all of next season. I would have to imagine that's going to be like, we're going to up the ante here a little bit now, and we're going to maybe be a little bit aggressive in the offseason with some trades and such and trying to take advantage of this. Because the Celtics are, let's just face it, they're going to be down. The Bucks, they're going to be down. Even if Giannis is back, they're still going to be down. The Pacers now are going to be down. Those are 3 teams that if they were all healthy, are probably going to go in a season thinking championship. But now, with a wide open Eastern Conference, just got a whole lot wider for some of these teams, like the Magic, like the Knicks, like the Cleveland Cavaliers. But for the Bucks too, does it make it a little bit more open for them for this upcoming offseason? Like if they get that commitment from Giannis that he's back, and they've been, talking about gap year. But you got another injury to a star player or to a really good player on an Eastern Conference team. At some point with all these injuries, does it just almost even the playing field for a lot of these teams? Like if you still have Giannis and now you got another injury here, how do you not get intrigued with like, okay, can we take advantage of no Tatum and no Tyrese and maybe find another player, another running mate for Giannis for this year? Try to get into those playoffs as a top 4 team, and then maybe Dame comes back in the postseason. I don't know. I'm intrigued with that. I know we keep hearing the gap year thing, and I get that, and I understand that. But what if you can make a trade? What if you can make a move? And I don't know who it would be right now. I mean, there's a ton of rumors and stuff out there, and I'm not going to pretend that I know how the whole NBA money stuff works. It's not. I can understand NFL salary cap ramifications and such. The NBA with bird rights and tiers and luxury taxes, it's just like, I hate math. I suck at math. I could do NFL salary cap. NBA to me is like what was above algebra 2 in high school? Whatever was above that, or like calculus. That's like advanced calculus stuff for me that I don't even want to try to figure out. So just on a blanket statement alone, without knowing the financial ramifications and such, I feel like if the Bucks could find somebody that could be probably, in all intents and purposes, maybe he's a 3. Okay, maybe he's a younger version of a Chris Middleton, where a lot of people thought, okay, he's not really a Robin, he's more of a 3. The Bucks could find that guy, and they could finish top 4 in the East, and then maybe they get Dame back for the postseason. All right, maybe you got some. I'd almost like, can we go with that instead of the whole gap year, and we're gonna ride it with Giannis for this year, but not really put a whole lot. I don't want to waste another year with Giannis. I don't want to waste another year with him. So it's going to be interesting now to see this offseason. I think this offseason for the NBA just got a whole lot more intriguing. Obviously, the news yesterday with Kevin Durant getting traded to the Rockets. That's a big move. Okay, it's a Western Conference move. I think it was a move that probably didn't surprise a lot of people. I mean, it was been talked about for so long. But I think now, especially, it's going to be interesting to watch these Eastern Conference teams. And I would throw the Bucks in there too. With this latest injury that is going to severely hurt the Pacers for this upcoming season. What's the mindset? What's the approach this offseason? And if you're the Western Conference, you're looking at, okay, the Thunder are now the champs, and you're the Western Conference, and it's a deep conference, and it's a talented conference. And you look at how the Eastern Conference now with some of these injuries, do some of those Western Conference teams say, hey, we're going to pounce on some of these guys now because the Eastern Conference, you got some teams that are just lost their best player, one of their best players. Maybe they're a little bit more open to maybe making some moves and such. It's going to be a really, I think, interesting offseason going forward. And, of course, too, with Kevin Durant going to the Rockets, do other teams in the Western Conference, how do they respond? Specifically, maybe the T-Wolves. I mean, the T-Wolves were rumored for KD all the way to the trade deadline and even into this year, to this offseason. And it's another team, or it's a player that didn't go to the Miami Heat because apparently the Miami Heat were a preferred destination. Well, now you got the Heat missed out on another top player. But you look at the T-Wolves and you see, okay, the Thunder are the champs. They're a deep team. Houston, they were the 2 seed this past year. They just got KD. If you're a T-Wolves fan or you're the T-Wolves, you got new ownership coming in with A-Rod and such and full control, and I got to imagine he's going to be aggressive. Where do they go? What do they try to do to surround Ant-Man in a deep, deep, deep Western Conference? And a free agency pool that isn't that deep themselves. Are we going to see more trades? Are we going to see more teams run it back? I don't know. I'm interested to see how this all plays out. All right. We'll play a little crystal ball coming up here. So we'll get to that. And then we'll get to more. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. So fill in the blanks. I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. All right. Let me know. Text me, 715-830-1912. Final hour coming up. Let's make it a good one, all right? We got some news updates, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's your news done differently with Morgan McCarthy.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today. Coming out of a steamy weekend, we plug back into a new week with headlines on the world stage that bring in a Wisconsin connection. Lawmakers from our state are among those reacting to the U.S. bombing of Iran nuclear sites over the weekend. It was in an address to the nation Saturday night that President Trump called the strikes a spectacular military success. Eau Claire area Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden says he fully supports President Trump's actions to defend Israel and send a clear message to America's adversaries that the U.S. does not tolerate nuclear intimidation. Showing you different sides so you can decide. On the Democratic side of the aisle, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin has issued a statement saying that President Trump's bombing of Iran without congressional approval ignores the Constitution, puts American men and women in uniform at risk, and puts the country on the verge of an all-out war. In headlines that move us to our areas and take us to the courts, it's a 5th OWI. This as a New Richmond man faces those charges after what records say is a 5th arrest for OWI. 50-year-old Frankie Paschke was pulled over Sunday morning in Dunn County. Observing some smell of alcohol, the deputies did do a sobriety test, and that was failed by Paschke, taken into custody again for that 5th OWI. We have an update on burglary charges. This happened in the Vernon County area. A woman is now free on parole after being arrested heading into the weekend in connection with a burglary. Items stolen include power tools that were reported missing from a building last week. Investigating officers say the case led them to the suspect, Jordan Leon Womack. She was taken into custody on charges that include burglary and parole violation. Well, you've heard an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but what about a handful of strawberries? A study from San Diego State University says 4 strawberries a day could improve your cognitive skills. That seems specific, but possibly very interesting, Tammy?
The study followed 35 men and women in their 70s and found that eating 26 grams of freeze-dried strawberry powder made from fresh berries every day for 8 weeks led to better performance on cognitive tests. Researchers said the strawberries also helped lower blood pressure and increase disease-fighting antioxidants in the blood. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
You know, Casper always likes to brag about his sports skills. Says he can slam dunk, beer trophy for softball, hole-in-one for golf, a perfect plie in ballet. But the one thing he always falls short on?
Better performance on cognitive tests.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
It's another warm and muggy morning across the area as we are seeing some extra clouds working in from the west. This is in association with a cold front that will not only bring relief from the heat, but we are tracking chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms today, a few of which may be on the strong to severe side. Our high temperature in the mid 80s. For tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, a low of 61. We're near 80 with some sunshine tomorrow. On 13 First Alert, meteorologist Derek Dahlman.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
From the hardwood and the diamond to the gridiron and the course, Dan's got you covered with his trademark blend of sports passion and knowledge. He has the sports info you want and the sports therapy you need. So get your game face on, people.
Let's go get to the bell, huh? Put up or shut up, sir. We gotta get it started from the jump. Play big. Let's go. That's what legends made, man. It's showtime. Welcome to the big league. Let's go.
Because it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Here we go. Final hour right now on this Monday morning of June 23rd. How y'all doing this morning? Big thanks for making us a part of your starts, whether you're listening on the radio dials at 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Tuning in online at sportstalk1051.com. You've got your smart devices, smart speakers. Like you could tell your Alexa device to say, "Yo, Alexa, play WAYY," and boom, it'll pop up. Also, video streams, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Been talking a lot of baseball here this morning with the Brewers. The heat wasn't the only thing that was hot, or the weather wasn't the only thing that was hot this past weekend. It was the Brewers' offense was pretty darn hot this weekend, too. Can they carry that over into Milwaukee to begin this 3-game series against the Pirates starting tonight? Get Chad Patrick going on the mound tonight for the Brewers. We'll get back to some more Brewers talk and baseball talk coming up here in just a little bit. Continue to send me your "I'm not saying, but I'm just saying." Fill in the blanks. I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. All right. Text those, tweet those, Facebook those, comment on the video stream, whatever you got. Hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/Kasper Sports. All right, Kasper with a K. Or hit me up on the X at DANKSPR, Instagram at Dan Kasper Sports. All right, so let's do a little crystal ball here this morning. Our Monday morning game, we're going to do a little crystal ball, and let's start off with a little Brewers one. Will Christian Yelich retire as a Milwaukee Brewer, following maybe the Ryan Braun path? Now, can't really say Christian Yelich will be a Brewer for life like Ryan Braun, because we know Christian Yelich was with the Marlins. So let me actually bring up Christian Yelich. How much more does he have on this contract of his? How long is he tied? So he is tied a mutual in 2029. Then he's an unrestricted free agent at the age of 38. You know what? I'd say my crystal ball, yes. He will retire as a Milwaukee Brewer. He's 33 right now. I think if He's got a couple more years. The DH spot, obviously, I think is I don't know. I feel like maybe he's a little bit more comfortable as a DH, and I think some people are like, well, what? All he does is hit. What doesn't matter? That's his only job in that. To transition from an outfielder position player to now essentially a full-time DH probably took a little bit of getting used to and just preparing him mentally even and such. I think we're seeing maybe him a little bit more comfortable just or maybe just better way of saying it, embracing the role a little bit better. So, but yeah, I think he will retire as a Brewer. I think he will retire as a Milwaukee Brewer. So I'll go with that. Will the Brewers acquire another outfielder? I say yes. Again, I don't know. We don't know the extent of Garrett Mitchell's injury. At least I haven't seen it yet. But shoulder injury, and considering his injury history, yeah, I think you're going to see the Brewers try to acquire another outfielder. I know they got Daz Cameron and such, but I think they're going to scour the market and maybe try to find an outfielder to trade for. That's not a knock on Isaac Collins or anything like that, but after that, I mean, it's clearly obvious, I think, they don't want Yelich playing outfield. I mean, they've had plenty of chances of doing that. But the fact that Bowers is even getting more starts in outfield than Yelich, I think, tells us a lot. They're one injury away from essentially saying Jake Bowers is almost an everyday starting outfielder. I don't want that. I know they got, Daz Cameron and such, but I think they could use a little bit of an upgrade. Let's this was an interesting one. Somebody submitted this one. Will the Bucks have a new head coach by 2026? 2026. I think a lot of Bucks fans right now would say they wish they had a new head coach by 2025. So, I mean, by 2026, if we go based off the wording, I would say my crystal ball says no, because that is goes into the second half of next season. I'll say by 2027. And I'm still nervous on that. I'm still a little bit nervous on that, because if Giannis comes back and he embraces the gap year pitch, then you almost kind of wash this year, and that means, okay, then would they start the non-gap year with a new head coach? Right now, my crystal ball, I'll say yes, but I'm not confident in that. I'm not confident in that, especially if they embrace that gap year approach. Because if they do that, almost feels like that the plan is Doc Rivers is going to be here for at least a few more seasons, which I'm not fully on board with, but obviously the brain trust and the Bucks are. So, yeah. Unless it's just, Darvin Ham is buying his time, and he's going to be the next man in charge. But I'll say yes, but I'm still a little bit reluctant on that. Crystal ball. Will the Packers have a top 5 defense this year? Ooh. Top 5? No. I'm going to say no, that they won't have a top 5. But I'll say top 10. Is that a little optimistic? Maybe, depending on who you ask. But I'll go with the top 10. I can ride with that one. It's not to say they don't have any questions heading into this year. I think they've got quite a few questions heading into this year defensively. Are they going to get, just to kind of repeat everything that we've already talked about when it comes to their defense, are they going to be able to generate a consistent pass rush? Are they going to, how's the secondary going to play out with, obviously we've been used to not having Jair for a while, but okay, Keyshawn is the number 1. Carrington Valentine in there. Hobbs. Can Devontae Wyatt stay healthy? Are we going to get better production from Kenny Clark? How much of that last year was due to the injury? Lucas Van Ness, et cetera, et cetera, etc. So I won't say top 5, but I'll say top 10 for this year. Another one for the Packers. This was submitted by somebody, don't have a name, can't give you any credit. Will the Packers eventually shut down training camp practice is open to the public? So I was on this rant on Friday that there's 2 fewer practices available for the public to view this year than there were last year. There's still double digits at 13, I think the number was. And I understand the arguments. I'm not saying I agree with it. I understand the argument of more open practice, more open, to other teams trying to scout or do what, paying attention to what they're doing at practice, whether it's fans in the stands recording and they put it up on social media and such. I mean, I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think that's a little too conspiracy theory-ish, but it is pro sports, and Packers aren't the only one that does this. Every other pro sports franchise is extra careful with what they put out there in terms of practice and info and that. I will say I don't think they will ever close it, but I do think we're going to see, or we're going to continue to see, more and more restrictions or less possibilities for fans to partake in training camp practices or training camp activities. So if there's a possibility that I think there's it's trending in that direction, and I hate it. And I hate it because I think it's getting away from one of the best traditions in all of sports is the Packers training camp experience. I don't think they'll ever shut it down, but I think it's going to be harder and fewer opportunities with that. So, what else do we got? What else do we got here for a little crystal ball? This one was also from a listener named Ben. Ben says, does your crystal ball say that Jacob Mizorowski will have more than 8 wins this year? Did we do this one last week? I think we did something like this last week. Well, I can't remember. I thought somebody did that, but I'm blanking on it. Let's go with, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. So I'm going to say no, that he doesn't get 8. Maybe around 6 or 7, but I don't think he'll get 8. I think he's a future double-digit winning starting pitcher, though, in this league. So, all right, that's it for Crystal Ball. Big thanks to a couple of you for sending over some Crystal Ball questions. You can always send those on over, all right? Just hit us up on a text at 715-830-1912. Speaking of Brewers, let's get back to a little Brewers action, all right? Brewer Crew, beginning game 1 of this series against the Pirates. Just how big is this series? How big can a series against the Pirates be? I think it's pretty big. I'll explain coming up after these quick words.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
When you're in the business of building the future, why rely on yesterday's internet technology? 100% fiber internet from TDS is engineered to handle industrial strength demands with turbocharged symmetrical speeds and 99.9% network reliability. Get internet that keeps your business light years ahead. Upgrade to cable-crushing TDS fiber internet. Strong enough for your business, strong enough for you. Learn more at tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed. Subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people are looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. Hi, John Murphy here for QC Kinetics. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, They have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment, but now it's mainstream. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. Their well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now, 715-443-4440, 715-443-4440. That's 715-443-4440.
If you need up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com is the name you can trust. It's free to use, available 24/7, and you are never required to accept any loan offer. Some lenders offer same-day funding. If you need up to $3,000, type WeFixMoney.com directly into your browser. WeFixMoney.com has been helping customers for 15 years and has an A rating with a Better Business Bureau. So if you need cash for credit card bills, car repairs, childcare, or anything else, go to WeFixMoney.com. Make sure you type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser. Go to the company you trust, WeFixMoney.com. It's free to use, available 24/7, and some lenders offer same-day funding. Just fill in the information and get an answer in minutes at WeFixMoney.com. For up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th, play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. For example, grab one with hot food, that's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. See complete details at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
We all live busy lives, and sometimes when you get that little bit of free time, it is sacred. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there was a place where you could go to find out how to spend your free time? Like where to eat, where to catch a show, where to take a walk, where to go support local. Good news. We have a place for that. It's called Around the 715. It's the spot that you go to when you want to find out what's going down around town. And the good news is it's easy to find. Just download the all-new Around the 715 app on your smartphone.
When you're in the business of building the future, why rely on yesterday's internet technology? 100% fiber internet from TDS is engineered to handle industrial strength demands with turbocharged symmetrical speeds and 99.9% network reliability. Get internet that keeps your business light years ahead. Upgrade to cable-crushing TDS fiber internet. Strong enough for your business, strong enough for you. Learn more at tdsbusiness.com. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed. Subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Get ready to save with half-off deals. A great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
Buying a home can be complex and time sensitive. In fact, most people only do it 3 times. Michael O'Connell here from Franzen Bank and Trust in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I help homebuyers every day and pride myself on building personal relationships and providing timely and accurate service throughout the loan process. Visit or contact our Eau Claire office today and let me use my expertise to help you. Franzen Bank and Trust, real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 2607586.
Broadcasting live from the TDS Sports Talk 105.1 studios, it's the Dan Kasper Show.
First pitch for tonight's Brewers game going to be at 6:40. 6:40. Coverage will begin about 35 minutes prior. You can tune in to the radio dials again at 105.1 FM and 790 AM to listen to tonight's game, where the Brewers will try to continue their hot streak from the offensive side of the plates. Brewers running a 4-game winning streak right now, but their bats, I mean, the weather wasn't the only thing that was just steaming hot this past weekend. It was the Brewers' offense, too. I mean, going not only sweeping the Twins, but as a team, Brewers had 35 runs, 47 hits, and a 4.02 batting average this past weekend against the Minnesota Twins. And just 2 home runs, and they all came in yesterday's game against the Twins, Rhys Hoskins and Bryce Terang. Christian Yelich, 8 RBIs on Friday nights. So we went through a lot of the players who have been really hitting the ball well for the Brewers as of late. I mean, just to kind of refresh in case you missed it in the first hour, but it's more than just a couple of guys too. I mean, there's a good chunk of, of these guys, and let's start it off. Let's give him credit because we've been hard on him, and rightfully so. I don't think we need to apologize for being hard on him because he wasn't great for a long time this season. But right now, we have to channel that same energy and also tip our cap and say he's playing well right now from the offensive side. And that's Joey Ortiz. Okay, Joey Ortiz in his last 50 at-bats is hitting 340. Heck, if you even expand it to his last 94 at-bats, he's hitting 277. I think all of us, all Brewers fans, would say we would take 277 from Joey Ortiz in a heartbeat. If you want to narrow it down a little bit more, in his last 27 at-bats, 407 batting average. So you got to give him credit. He is hitting better. Now, he's on a heater. And we see this a lot in sports, especially in baseball. He's on a hot streak right now from the offensive side. Doesn't mean that this is going to continue. It doesn't mean that he's all of a sudden going to be a 280 hitter or finish the season as a 280 hitter. That would be awesome. That'd be fantastic. But odds are it's probably not going to be the case. But since we were pretty hard on him, and again, rightfully so, I don't think we need to apologize for that. He was not good offensively. He was stinking. But we can also acknowledge and say, hey, man, guy's playing really good right now as of late. I mean, in each game against the Twins, he had multiple hits. Friday night was 3. Saturday was 2. Sunday was 2. Friday night, he had 3 RBIs to go along with that. So, got to give him credit there, too. He has been hitting incredibly well. Caleb Durbin, the other side, right next to him on the left side. In his last 26 ABs, he's hitting 346. In his last 104 at-bats, 269. While that may not be super impressive to a lot of people, that's solid, okay, for a rookie, for this kid coming in. It's solid. We're not going to get a ton of power from the left side, and I would agree that we need a little bit more power from the left side, whether it's from the third base or whether it's from shortstop. We need more power. But right now, these guys are getting on base. They're hitting and getting on base. It's just up to the power guys that this team does have to maybe get those guys across the board, or we're just going to continue to play a lot of small ball and manufacture runs that way. Heck, did it for the most part. We did it all on Friday night. They scored 17 runs, and none of them came from the home run department. But Caleb Durbin's hitting well from the plate as of late. Bryce Terang, 379 in his last 29 at-bats. Got that massive home run yesterday. Isaac Collins, his last 26 at-bats, he's 308. Heck, his last 42 at-bats, he's 310. Last 80 at-bats, 275. And right now, they're gonna have to count on him more with the Garrett Mitchell news that he suffered a setback in his rehab start. It's probably going to be a lot more Isaac Collins in left field, unless the Brewers make a move to acquire another outfielder. But I think at this point, too, I know we asked it towards the end of last week, has Isaac Collins played his way onto the roster even when Garrett Mitchell and maybe even Blake Perkins get back? What helps him? He does play a little infield. More so at second, very little bit at third, but it does provide a little bit of position versatility. But dude's hitting well. You got to keep him in that lineup too. You want to keep a lot of these guys in this lineup right now because of how well they are hitting. Jackson Chourio. Out of all these guys, he may be the least impressive, but in his last 31 at-bats, he's hitting .290. It's the summer of Sal. I mean, that just continues. His last 118 at-bats, he's hitting .322. Last 59 at-bats, .322. Last 32 at-bats, .313. What the heck, Sal? You go from .322 in your last 59 at-bats or 118 at-bats down to .313 in your 32. What a bum. I mean, the summer of Sal is just, it's continuing. Again, these 3 games against Minnesota, multiple hits in each game, 3-2-2. He's performing well at that leadoff spot right now for the Brewers. I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change a thing with that. That table setter, that leadoff guy, you want a table setter, but you want a high energy guy up there. I mean, if there's not a guy that's got more energy than Sal Frelick, tell me who that is. I mean, that Sal Frelick to me is like your perfect leadoff hitter. And then the guy that we want to see the power from, the run producer, and he's doing it right now, Christian Yelich. His last 119 at-bats, .336. Slugging of .563, 7 dingers, 7 home runs. His last 32 ABs, .438 average, slugging .688. Now, you look at his season numbers, they're still below his career averages. So far on the season, he's hitting .259. He's a career .286. His on-base percentage, .337. He's a career .375. His OPS is a .783. He's a career .840. So, yes, season-wise, they're still down. But he is on a streak right now. You'd want to talk about a guy, I mean, Friday night, the 8 RBIs, run producer. He had 4 hits in that game, 2 on Saturday, 2 yesterday. RBIs in each of those games, too. Dude is getting it done at the plate. And I just feel like he's more comfortable in the DH role. I think maybe the better way to say is he's embraced it more. Because I don't know a lot of ball players that would have the mindset like, yeah, I wish I could just be a hitter. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to hit. I mean, look at Devers. All right. He wanted to continue to play the field in Boston. Wanted to continue playing third. A lot of guys still want to continue playing the field. They want to be out there. And Yelich was vocal about that too, that he still wanted to be out there. Did it affect a little bit of his offensive approach and such? Maybe. Not saying that was the reason for some slow spurts or long, slow stretches. But it just feels like maybe now he's embraced it. Because there's been plenty of examples or opportunities, I should say, for him to go out there and play left field. And it hasn't. He's played 7 games. 7 games this year in left field. That's it. And they've elected numerous times to play Jake Bauers in left field over Yelich. This is the role for Yelich going forward. And I think it's the point. Maybe it's just simply as he's embraced it now. He's welcomed it. This is the thing he can focus on now. And right now, the guy is hitting incredibly well from the plate. Incredibly well. I mean, what? Ortiz, Durbin, Turang, Collins, Yelich, Chourio, Frelick. Mentioned all those guys, right? All those guys. There's essentially just 2 of the regular starters we haven't talked about in terms of what they've been doing offensively. Because compared to those guys, they haven't really been doing anything as of late. Now, Hoskins did get a home run yesterday. Collected a couple hits yesterday. But this was a guy that has been really, really, really struggling. But maybe this was a weekend series for him where it was a nice little bounce back because he collected at least a hit in each game. Friday night, he got a hit. Saturday, he got a hit. Yesterday, he got a couple, including the home run. All right, and you're looking at his last 15 games, his last 49 at-bats, just 163. That's not going to cut it. But in the last 2 games here, he's hitting 240 with a couple home runs. And really, you look at his last 30 games, 196, but he does have 7 home runs. But we need to see him become more consistent, especially if he's going to continue to hit in the middle of the lineup. You saw yesterday's, was it yesterday's lineup or was it Saturday's? I think it was yesterday's lineup. Let me double check. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, you had Contreras batting cleanup, and Collins hitting in the fifth spot over Hoskins. And then Terang, I think it was Saturday, batting in the fifth spot. It's giving me shades of the early 2000, 12s and 11s or whatever it was when they were trying to find a hitter, a fifth hitter to go behind Prince Fielder. It's giving me kind of shades of that a little bit. But we mentioned Contreras. He hasn't been hitting to his levels that he has set in his very young career. He's a career 272 hitter. He's a career 806 OPS. This year, numbers are down. He's a 240 hitter so far this season. He's a 708 OPS. How much is that finger injury affecting him at the plate? In his last 24 at-bats, he's just 250. Last 30 games, 239. But thankfully, everybody else besides Contreras, and it's not like Contreras is batting sub 200 in that, but he's set the bar incredibly high over the last couple of years offensively that, and I know it's catcher position. It's you don't expect a whole lot. Cal Raleigh right now, what he's doing with Seattle is just mind-boggling historic stuff with the home run ball. He is the exception to the norm when it comes to the catching position. But I think, with Contreras, he has set the bar so high in his couple of years with the Brewers, especially on the offensive side, that when he's a little bit down, it's like, oh, dang, what's going on with Contreras? It's probably the finger injury. It's probably that. But right now, practically everybody else besides him and Rhys Hoskins are just on a heater offensively. And that's why I look at this series coming up with Pittsburgh as it's a big series. It's a big series because this is a series that if you are the Brewers, you have no reason whatsoever to lose this series. Your offense is rolling right now. Continue that hot streak. You're at home where you have been a better team, by far a better team. You're up to 500 now on the road thanks to sweeping the Twins. But you're going up against one of the worst. Your next 2 series are the 2 worst teams in the National League record-wise. You're at home. You're hitting really well. There is no reason why you should not take at least 2 out of 3 in both of these series coming up. And I look at these first 2 games of this series against Pittsburgh as the 2 games that you really should try. You should really take advantage of and get these wins. We're all going to be hyped up and focused on that Wednesday matchup of Paul Skeens versus Mizorowski. That radar gun's going to be hitting triple digits quite a bit that day. But Paul Skeens, we know too, is he's got a bigger sample size than Mizorowski. It might be runs scored at a premium in that game. But right now, this Brewers offense is better than this Pirates offense, and this offense better continue to do what they were doing, carry what they were doing against the Twins into these for at least this series in these first couple games. Give Chad Patrick some run support early in tonight's game. Take advantage. Continue to be aggressive at the plate. Put up some runs, manufacture those runs. Get them an early lead. I think you have to continue rolling out this lineup because it's been hot and you got to ride this heater. You've put yourself now into a wild card spot and just 3.5 games behind the Cubs. And you know what? The Cubs are going up against the Cardinals now. You want a chance to maybe catch up to them? You've got an opportunity. Looking ahead to the schedules here too. Just in this next week or so, you got Cubs at Cardinals. Cardinals are fighting for some standing purposes. It's 4 games against the Cardinals. I don't know what's going to happen in that, but chances are it's going to be some good games. And then after that, the Cubs have to go to the Astros. Astros are leading their division. That's a playoff team. Brewers, they're home against Pittsburgh and Colorado. Take care of your business. Put yourself in a position, and who the heck knows? When it's July 1st, maybe those standings look a little bit different. Maybe a little bit different. I mean, it's going to be a tough July to open up July. You've got to go on the road against the Mets. The Mets are a really good team. And then you got the Dodgers. In between that, you've got Miami and Washington in there too. But this is a heck of an opportunity to finish off this tough month of June on a really, really positive note. And I would say, you take 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh, you take 2 out of 3 against Colorado, and we look back at this month of June where you finished off a sweep against Philly. You took 2 out of 3 against Cincy. You lost against the Padres in Atlanta. That's going to be, right now, that's the bummer part of this because those were opportunities to win. You bounced back. You took 3 out of 4 against the Cardinals. You went 1-1 against the Cubs, and you swept the Twins. You take 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh and Colorado. That's a fantastic month of June with a tough schedule. And right now, you potentially, when you look at it, you do a little scoreboard watching. I know we're only about halfway through, but you do a little bit of scoreboard watching here. Maybe it sets up for those standings to be a little bit closer. There's 3.5 back now from the Cubs. And I think if you ask Cubs, maybe some Cubs fans, the last thing they want to see is the Brewers probably inching a little bit closer and closer to you. Now, the Cubs offense, they're magnificent. Okay? They're more consistent than the Brewers offense. But I got to imagine that, if it's July 1st and it's neck and neck, like half game or something like that, buckle up, baby. It's going to be a fantastic race to the finish. And let me look at this too. How many more times do we get Brewers Cubs? Only 2 more series. I mean, if we get to this point on July 1st where it's like, I don't know, tied or separated by a half game or whatever, you got the Cubs coming to Milwaukee at the end of July. And then they go to Chicago in middle towards the end of August for 5 games in 4 days. Can you imagine we get to that point and it's like separated by a game, tied, or whatever the case may be? Whew. Now we're talking. That's going to be, I think, a very chippy and close series. But let's take care of our business first. All right? We can do a little scoreboard watching as fans. All right? We have that right. But right now, if I'm the Brewers, you better be focusing on Pittsburgh. And you better not be resting on your laurels from this past weekend with your offense. Like, oh, yeah, we're in a groove right now. Take care of your business and take down these Pirates. There's no reason. That's why I say this is a big series, because there's no reason why. The Brewers have no business losing this series and losing this upcoming series against Colorado. None. No business whatsoever losing those. You want to show that you are a playoff team? You got to win games like this. I get it. It's baseball. We have it happens where, poo-poo teams end up beating really good teams and winning a series. It does happen. But right now, with the way the Brewers offense is performing, and you're going up against one of the worst offenses, dead last in some categories in an offensive production from the Pittsburgh Pirates, You better win. And it starts tonight, especially when you got Paul Skeens coming up Wednesday. You got to win tonight's game. You got Freddie Peralta on the mound tomorrow. You got to win that game too. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll make that pick and more as we start to wrap up this program, this Monday edition. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
The big focus in America today is on your health. And more people are looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. Hi, John Murphy here for QC Kinetics. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment, but now it's mainstream. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. Their well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now, 715-443-4440, 715-443-4440. That's 715-443-4440.
ServiceMaster of Chippewa Valley is your local expert when it comes to fire and water damage, carpet and air duct cleaning, mold remediation, and trauma. They're when you need them, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Trust comes in the yellow truck. Learn more at ServiceMasterChippewaValley.com.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Sometimes you need to know what to do, where to do it, who to do it with. AroundThe715.com. Just the ticket you're looking for. Could be a concert, could be a festival, a fair you want to take part in. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about maybe an arts thing that's going on in the area. AroundThe715.com from the stations. A Midwest family, Eau Claire. It's AroundThe715.com. It's that simple. It's that easy. You're invited to go visit it today. AroundThe715.com.
If you're a true sports fan, there's only one place to be. That's Sports Talk 105.1. From local takes to national stories, we're talking sports all day, every day. Catch fresh local content like the Dan Kasper Show in the mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and dive a little bit deeper with the Man Cave podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, you can stream all of our programming anywhere. It's Sports Talk the way it should be on Sports Talk 105.1.
If you need up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com is the name you can trust. It's free to use, available 24/7, and you are never required to accept any loan offer. Some lenders offer same-day funding. If you need up to $3,000, type WeFixMoney.com directly into your browser. WeFixMoney.com has been helping customers for 15 years and has an A rating with a Better Business Bureau. So if you need cash for credit card bills, car repairs, childcare, or anything else, go to WeFixMoney.com. Make sure you type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser. Go to the company you trust, WeFixMoney.com. It's free to use, available 24/7, and some lenders offer same-day funding. Just fill in the information and get an answer in minutes at WeFixMoney.com. For up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Something amazing is happening happening in data management. Even though store changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage as a service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Stream the Dan Kasper Show on the Sports Talk 105.1 app at sportstalk1051.com or on your smart devices. Hey, you can even watch the show on YouTube.
Tim in the Cooley region asks, does Sal remind you of Paul Molitor at all the way he leads off and sets the table for who's behind him? Funny you mentioned Paul Molitor because when I was at the game on Saturday, there was I think it was the in-game host was doing some Paul Molitor trivia with somebody in the stands and such. And so I was like, looking up some of the numbers after they were talking a little bit Paul Molitor, and I mean, you look at, he wasn't the biggest, power guy, home run guy, right? I mean, he didn't, when I was looking it up, because he debuted in 78, and that was one of the questions, and I was looking up some of his numbers and that, and if my memory serves me correct, when I was looking at it, don't think he hit double-digit home runs until 82. So if he debuted in 78 and he didn't hit double-digit home runs until 82, and then I think it was, he didn't have over 20 only one time in his career, and that was later on. So, yeah, possibly. Possibly. I mean, that's still high praise to be compared to Paul Molitor for Sal Frelick right now. He's got a long ways to go there, but, hey, I'll take a Paul Molitor type of player offensively for that. So, what else we had? What's going on with that thing? There we go. We had Donnie with a quick text saying, good morning. My thoughts on the weekend. Jose Quintana was great on Saturday. Figured it out by the third inning. Great veteran. Bodes well for postseason. Contreras looks uncomfortable at the plate. And Durbin made another base running blunder. Yeah, he did. But, Donnie, I think we also have to look at the positives from Caleb Durbin, too. I mean, base running blunder, yes. Rookie, yes. Offensively, though, I mean, you look at what he did or has been doing his last 26 at-bats. He's hitting .346. He had 5 hits in this series alone against the Twinnies. So, yes, he had another base running blunder. That has definitely been something he has had issues with. But I think we can also look at some of the positive stuff that he has been doing lately. And right now, he's hitting very well. He's hitting well, and he's played some solid defense for a guy that really came in more as a second baseman, and spring training was kind of, getting more reps at third base, because that seemed like, okay, if you're going to make the big league club, that's probably going to have to come from there. So it's still a fairly new position for him. I think you got to tip your cap a little bit right now to him for the way he's playing. So, all right, let's do some picks here this week for tonight's games. Not a full-on schedule, but we got a few games here. Texas taking on Baltimore. I'm going to go with the Rangers tonight. We've got Atlanta taking on the Mets. Spencer Schwellenbach's on the mound. It's at New York. I'm still going to go with the Braves. I'll still go Braves. We got Yankees taking on the Reds. I'm going to go with the Yankees. Diamondbacks taking on the White Sox. I'll go Diamondbacks. Seattle at Minnesota. I think Minnesota gets the win. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. I think Minnesota bounces back and gets the win tonight. Chicago at St. Louis. I know who I want to win, even though it still kind of pains me to say that. I know who I want to win. I'll go Cardinals. I'll go Cardinals to win tonight's game. So, Boston at the Angels. I'll go with the Red Sox. Washington at San Diego. I'm going to go with the Padres. And then Pittsburgh at Milwaukee. Braxton versus Patrick. I'll go with the Brewers. And the Brewers offense continuing their hot streak right now, giving the run support to Chad Patrick. And the Brewers pick up a Game 1 win tonight. So that's what I'm picking. Those are our picks for today. We'll have a bigger slate of baseball games coming at you tomorrow. So, and again, remember this after this Pirate series, we'll be exactly at the halfway mark, 50% of the way through the season, 81 games into a 162 game season. So we'll do some report cards and grades and such as we get to, what would that work out to, Thursday, I think? So, all right, kind of a recap. So we did a little bit of a poll question and such, but your favorite sporting event I shouldn't say event, your favorite sport to watch in person. What is your favorite sport to watch in person? Not even close. It was all baseball, but it went baseball, hockey, football, basketball. And I agree. I'm going to go. I agree with the majority of voters. I think baseball will be number one for me. I'm going to go hockey at number two. You know, I enjoy watching NHL. I enjoy watching hockey in person more so than watching it on TV. I love going to football games. I love going to Lambeau Field. But it's different for baseball and hockey for me. Baseball is a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit more chill. Maybe it's weather-wise, too, for baseball. Summer day, yes, it was hot when we were at the game Saturday, but, man, sitting in shorts and a tee and enjoying a little baseball game and just kind of relaxing and such, you could do that at Carson Park and that, too. I really enjoy going to a baseball game and watching in person. That would be number one for me. Hockey was a lot of fun. To me, watching hockey in person, better than watching on TV. Football's awesome. The environment at Lambeau Field is awesome. Third down and your team's on defense and getting loud. When Green Bay scores a touchdown and the excitement level, there's nothing that can replicate that. It's awesome, but it's a little different. And then, yeah, I'd throw basketball probably of that list, probably at number 4. So, yeah, I think that was where the majority went. Nobody really who chimed in said that, but I think it was on our post-glass and mirror. Yeah, it was our post-glass and mirror 715 Speaks poll question. Last I checked, 60% went with baseball. Then it was 21% hockey, 14% football, and then the rest went with baseball. So I agree with it. We talked a little bit about the NBA Finals, and last night the Oklahoma City Thunder picking up the championship in a Game 7 victory. There is going to be a lot of talk about a what if, though. There's going to be a ton of talk about a what if. What if Tyrese doesn't get hurt? What if he doesn't tear his Achilles in that game? Is it different? Is the outcome different? Is it still the same? Because, no question that had to take a huge hit on the morale of that team. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? They were up at halftime by a point, but I got to imagine, at that moment when it happened, it was probably a little bit of a shock, but you still got adrenaline going. And then you go into halftime and you find out it hits you. You try to rile up. You try to get them pumped up and say, hey, we're going to do this for Tyrese. We're going to do this, and, we got you back in that. It probably still took a little bit of a hit, and it's one of your best players on your team. Hey, he's your energizer, and he's not out on that court, and you don't have the home court advantage, it's going to hit you. So there's going to be a lot of what-if talk about it. If Tyrese plays that whole game, is the outcome different at all? Who knows? We will never know. But that's why a lot of people are going to play the what-if game. And I get it, and I understand it. But I look at now, okay, Tyrese, if he doesn't miss the whole season next season, it's a huge chunk. Tatum, same boat. Dame, same boat. This East just got a more wide open. If you're the Knicks, if you're the Cleveland Cavs, we already saw Orlando make a move. But if you're the Knicks and you're the Cavs now, and you look at this and you look at the Eastern Conference with 3 really good players going to miss all or a big chunk of the season, do you approach this offseason a little bit differently in terms of roster construction, saying, hey, it just got even more wide open? That to me is just now is going to be interesting to kind of follow along for the rest of this NBA, or now as we get into the NBA offseason, just to kind of see how it all transpired. I'd throw the Bucks now. To me, when you throw in the Tatum injury and you throw in the Tyrese injury, and if Giannis is back, I don't know if I'm fully on board with the idea that they're going to approach it as a gap year. Do you really want to waste a year with Giannis? And knowing Tatum's going to miss a bunch of time and knowing that Tyrese is going to miss a bunch of time, I think there's an opportunity still. Try to get a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. And if you get Dame back, maybe there's something. Maybe you can work with something there. But it's going to be definitely going to be interesting as we approach this summer now. I hope now that the finals are over with, let's see if we get some positive news surrounding Giannis and just get this thing official, and let's just say he's back and we can move on and focus on an offseason. Like, how do we surround him with some more guys for this year? So we talked a little bit about that. Obviously, KD getting traded, Kevin Durant traded to the Rockets. Probably not a big surprise. I mean, that was one of the teams that was constantly mentioned. Rockets were also a team constantly mentioned with Giannis and such. So KD going back to Texas where he played college ball. And now I'm curious, okay, Thunder are the champs. They're a deep team. Rockets were the 2 seed. They just got KD. What about our friends from across the border here? What do the Timberwolves do? Do they counter? Do they make moves? What's their plans for this offseason? All right, tomorrow we got a little Grind My Gears, Toyson Ford Grind My Gears. We'll also catch up with our friends from the Eau Claire Express. Reminder, they're back at Carson Park tonight. After being on the road all last week, they're back taking on the Lacrosse Loggers. The Express won their last 2 games in a row too. So head on down to Carson Park if you're looking to catch a little baseball action. DP Danettes are up next. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your Monday. Same place, same time, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Talk to you then.